man? How many of y'all dancing for the devil out here? In today's video, we'll be looking at creepy and strange Tik Toks that'll make you question reality.
Dancing for the devil, the 7M TikTok cult. So this management company called 7M Films is run by Robert Shin and his family. The dancers under 7M Films are often spotted filming in hotspots all around LA. The 7M crew has also shot videos on Broadway, in stunning beach houses all across the US, and even at the Staples Center in LA. So I mean, a pretty big deal. Something that seems very established, very credible, right? Once Miranda joined 7M, her sister Melanie started noticing a major shift in Miranda. Specifically, after Miranda joined the 7M house, she stopped making videos with her sister Melanie, and she also seemed to spend all of her time with all of the other 7M dancers. Her family claimed that Miranda barely talked to them anymore. They first started noticing these changes back in 2021, just a few weeks after she joined 7M. Now, around this same time, their grandfather unfortunately passed away.
Hey, Shorty done got a bag and ran off. She said, I don't know y'all no more.
And both sisters had planned to fly back to Michigan for the funeral. However, just 30 minutes before their flight, Miranda called her parents to say that she wasn't coming. She claimed that she had COVID, that she couldn't make it. Now, Melanie was suspicious about all of this because apparently they both already had COVID a month prior. So when Melanie spoke to Miranda about this and asked her, what's really going on? We just had COVID. She admitted that she really wasn't sick, but she said that she couldn't come for reasons that she couldn't explain.
Yo, I'll be thinking about them TikTok dances all the time, right? What if it's like some rituals or some spiritual stuff to it, right? Like Lil Uzi got everybody out here doing a certain dance. And like, what if that dance really is like bringing about some spiritual stuff? You know, people do rain dances and all type of spiritual dances. I mean, who's to say that these TikTok dances really don't have something behind them?
Today I fell into a Hurricane Katrina rabbit hole. I'm going to tag a creator below that talks a lot about her experience and the people of New Orleans' experience with Hurricane Katrina. I'm 30 years old, and I'm shocked and disappointed at myself for not knowing more about what happened there and what really happened and not what was being told to us. I was 11 years old when it happened. Obviously, my parents were older, so I just asked my mom, like, do you remember being told any of this? We lived in Florida at the time, so we got Katrina when it was like a Category 1. Then obviously it made landfall, stalled as a Category 5, and caused irreparable damage. But it most certainly wasn't just the hurricane that caused that damage. It was the city officials too. It's so much deeper than I think anybody really realizes unless you lived there. And I haven't stopped being able to think about it today. And I'm going to continue to do research on it. I'm a conspiracy girly, and I think that this has to be one of the biggest cover-ups of corruption in U.S. history. I implored you to go watch her videos. I believe she has like a Hurricane Katrina like entire playlist. It's eye-opening, and for somebody like me that already doesn't trust any of the powers that be, it's not shocking, but it is absolutely disturbing.
Yeah, man, Katrina was just crazy.
A little worried about Martin Lawrence, y'all. I'm gonna be real. I'm a little worried about Martin. I've been trying to watch the little PR and press run they've been having about Bad Boys, like on GQ and stuff like that, even with Nightcap, and I can't watch it because I just see the pause and the delay in some of his answers, and it kind of clenches my heart. Now I know people might be saying, you don't even know the man. No, bro, I grew up watching him. I grew up watching him. No matter how young I am, I'm 21. It kind of just gets you. It kind of...
Some reruns or some. He is a youngin'. Because I was watching Martin when I was young, too.
Just does. And I love how strong he's being. He's saying stuff like, there's nothing wrong with me, even though there obviously is. Because he doesn't want us to worry. Because he knows that he's kind of like been that sense of joy and comic relief. And he doesn't want to take that away from us. And I love and appreciate him for that. But yeah, it's been kind of tough watching this stuff for that. I am gonna go watch Bad Boys. I'm gonna go support, obviously, and I heard it was good. But yeah, I am a little worried. But yeah, all prayers to him. Hope he's okay. And good for Will, because you could tell Will is supporting him in this. Like in their answers and stuff, he kind of finishes some of his answers. It's been beautiful to see, like for real.
Martin's clone is showing signs of dementia.
Oh, what's
Wow. This is the real moment.
Yeah.
Special moment.
You better believe it, baby. Right? We finally about to get it.
What?
Yeah, we getting our Emmy tonight.
What?
Yeah. As a matter of fact, I got my speech on deck, too. Yeah, all ready to go?
No.
And no. All right? And they better not send Mama D out here to play me off either. What's she at?
No. Carl, we're not winning an Emmy tonight. Please, sit your butt down.
Please.
Sit down.
What you mean?
Carl, we're presenting an award, not being presented with one, knucklehead.
I'm leaving here with something.
Okay. No, wait. Carl isn't all the way wrong, you guys. I mean, we should have won an Emmy during our run. True.
Yeah.
True. Right, Martin?
That would be right. That would be right.
Well, we're never even nominated, despite our 132 episodes.
What?
Wow.
Just our huge ratings and being in syndicated so much that it's a little hard for me to see the 90s spankless version of myself every night. You know what I'm saying, right, Katrina?
No, I still look good.
Wow. That's what we doing tonight?
Still look good?
We doing that tonight?
Hey, hold on. You know, I want to thank you guys for your contribution to television.
Thank you, Aaron.
Unlike me, or like me, for the last 11 times, you're not going to get an Emmy. What you mean? You're not.
Why? That kind of sucks.
Yeah.
No, he tricking us. He tricking us. Go ahead. Keep going.
Now, well, you know what? It's all good. It's all good. You know, I'm just excited to be here on the Emmy stage with this tremendous cast of The Martin Show.
That's right.
Yeah. To present the next award are the nominees for lead.
Yo. Did y'all hear the man talk? Yeah, man. Something's wrong. I mean, I get old age catches up to us. None of the other cast members are sounding like Martin. So something else is going on. What y'all think happened to Martin? Is it even the same Martin? Some people are saying it's a clone Martin, right? And that's why he's acting this way because, I mean, it's not Martin. It's a soulless being.
Pieces of submarine cable picked up in the Gulf of Mexico in 1888. 1888. Submarine cable. Did the submarine come around much faster or much earlier than we know? Because 1888 is pretty early. So that's an interesting one. And then you sit there and think about cables in the ocean. Well, the internet runs through cables in the ocean. We know this. We've studied this. The internet runs through cables in the ocean. It doesn't go up to satellites and all the sataballoons nonsense they tell us. It runs through the ocean. Mm-hmm. So if we think about that there's cables through the ocean in 1888, was the internet already here in 1888? And then it was sold to you in maybe about the 1970s and 80s. You can connect to your computer to the technology which was already present, because a lot of the stuff that was already present seems to be found and then sold to us later on. So this technology I'm sitting on right now, 1888. Interesting thing to think about.
1888. Y'all know they had video calls back then in 1888 as well. They had electric vehicles in the 1800s. I'm not specifically 1888, so let me take that back. But it was the 1800s, early 1900s. They had a lot of technology that just randomly disappeared and is randomly reappearing now.
No, last question. I asked you to do this earlier, but I just want you to do it even more, go detailed. What do you predict will happen next in the future? You know, it's like you see it before it happens.
Kathy White's true killer is going to be unveiled. And it's not a man. And that woman died screaming.
Anything else?
Yeah. Show him the tape, Diddy. You got it.
Oh, man,
That might buy you a little time. You should probably stop looking for plastic surgeons.
man.
Looking for a new life, new face.
Yo, he about to pull a face off, yo. Go get a whole new face, a whole new identity, and go somewhere else.
Gonna hang you high. Jay-Z too. Beyonce too. And we're gonna round up all the See, I love a good gay man. I just can't stand him. And that's what it is.
With that being
You
said,
want to know what's going to happen next?
Yeah.
I'm about to up America.
Oh.
That's what's about to happen next.
Here we go.
No more filter. From this point forward, any word that I say, I ain't holding back. And I ain't saying alleged either. Y'all said I was lying the first time. Now it turns out I'm telling the truth. You still don't want to admit that I was right, but you don't want to admit that you was wrong. So really, then the diplomacy doesn't matter. Fuck you. I'm going to just keep ruining your lives with the truth.
And here we go.
Okay, shout out to Jaguar Wright, my long lost cousin. Yo, hold on, rewind that. I missed that.
If you live in If you live in the United States of America, more than likely you recognize this right here as the Washington Monument. And this slideshow that I got tagged in has been getting some traction and starts off with a photo of the special tree that's inside of the Washington Monument. There are then some photos that show what claim to be the building process, and finally, the modern-day Washington Monument. Now this right here seems to me more like a creepypasta or made-up story. They're claiming that this tree had special powers and was fully sentient and conscious, whereas the Washington Monument, the inside, really isn't as interesting as this. For those of you wondering what's actually inside of the Washington Monument, this diagram does a really good job of explaining it. You can pause it and read it if you'd like to. Essentially, it boils down to it's pretty much hollow. You're allowed to visit it, go up to the very top, check out the observation deck, and go back down. There's only a set amount of visitors that are able to go inside every single day, but I'm sure if you asked any of them that went inside if they saw an old tree, they would say no.
Anybody ever seen an old tree inside of the Washington Monument?
We need to talk about Thumbelina, this animated movie where a tiny girl is trafficked. This woman can't have kids, so she does what any of us would do. She goes to a witch and gets a seed and waters it, and inside is her tiny daughter. Thumbelina
Cabbage Patch Kids, anybody?
lives on a farm and she almost dies on a daily basis. Like, she is falling everywhere. She almost drowns. Like, her mom almost bakes her alive in a pie. One night, Thumbelina is singing and the fairy prince hears it and he's like, "Is that a new pop diva?" And he's like, "Do you want to date me?" And she's like, "Sure. It's you or a thumb." And they ride on a bumblebee and sing the most forgettable song, like a grocery store brand version of A Whole New World. They did not have the Disney budget. They could not afford Alan Menken. These Spanish frogs like her singing voice, so they abduct her while she's sleeping. Then this frog family traffics her into the entertainment industry. And this is how they get her to comply. She gets away on a lily pad, which is the only way to escape frogs, and she runs into this beetle. He wants her to perform at the beetle ball, so he kidnaps her. This girl cannot catch a break from all the trafficking. They are one step away from shipping her on Wayfair in some furniture. The beetle ball is a huge production. They dress her up as a beetle to sing for everyone, but then her costume gets knocked off. So then the audience starts calling her disgusting, and then they start body shaming her. And then they beat her with a stick. Also, the prince is frozen in ice somehow. He got stuck in ice, of course, and her mom's like all upset. Like, what are you upset for? You almost baked her in a goddamn pie, chill. Then Thumbelina somehow ends up underground where she is forced to perform for moles, constantly making her perform under duress. Like, what kind of conservatorship is this? And then she's forced to marry the mole with this hair. Like, babe, the mole is blind, but you aren't. Now everyone shows up and they're grabbing her and fighting over her. This girl needs a goddamn restraining order against insects and amphibians. Then the prince thaws out and comes back to life and saves the day. And then she marries him, even though he's definitely gay. I mean, just look at their wedding. The closet is glass, babe.
I don't know about the prince being that, but I think he was. But anyways, yo, Thumbelina, looked like a pretty cool movie. I ain't never seen that before. That is messed up how like these little kid movies kind of like show you real life in essence. Like Shorty was really being trafficked by all these people. It's like the Hollywood industry, you know, we're going to force you to go out there and sing. Now we're going to force you to put this outfit on for this big show. Now we're going to force you to do that.
You look at the old world buildings from 1893, 1895, 1896, that whole time, they don't have toilets. So you build a building that has maybe 1,000 rooms or something crazy, and there's no sanitation or sewage system. There's no toilets in there. Then you put the toilets in afterwards. You're a very advanced society that's building these buildings. You have dirt roads and all this other stuff, but you have no toilets. Almost like you're out of this world and don't belong here. That's the only reason when you start to think about that, why you would have no sanitation. You look at the old world buildings from 1893, 1895, 1896, that whole time, they don't have toilets. So you build a building that has maybe 1,000 rooms or something crazy, and there's no sanitation or sewage system. There's no toilets in there. Then you put the toilets in afterwards. You're a very advanced society that's building these buildings. You have dirt roads and all this other stuff, but you have no toilets. Almost like you're out of this world and don't belong here. That's the only reason when you start to think about that, why you would have no sanitation.
I'm starting to think Kim Jong-un was onto something when he told everybody he don't poop. Man, what if there was a whole different race of people? What if things were just different then, right? Where people would live and they didn't need these sanitation, or they didn't have these sanitation issues. Or what if it was just that these buildings aren't being used for what people think they were used for? So the people that found them think that it's an apartment building or going to make it into one or a hotel. So it's like, if we're going to have people living here, let's put some toilets in here. That's what makes me feel like all of this stuff was founded. They found it all.
Tik Tok, I need to ask y'all a question real quick on some real serious shit. Like, maybe like 2 or 3 weeks ago, have anyone felt like a weird ass difference? Like they came out the house, it was a normal ass day, and you just felt weird as shit? Now, see, look, the thing is, right, I'm on something, bro. I came outside one day, hit the sun and everything, I was feeling cool. 5 minutes later, I started feeling weird as shit, bro. Like my head was feeling weird, everything was just feeling weird, bro. So the thing that really worried me, right? So I hit my friend, I'm like, yo, bro. It's like, yo, bro, like, I don't know what it was, bro, but I just came outside, I was feeling weird as shit, right? He was like, yo, bro, I was just feeling weird as shit too. So I'm like, nah, cousin, there's something going on, bro. And I know y'all know there's something going on, bro. A lot of people don't like to discuss how they feel and shit, right? But I'm on some, bro. It's some major weird shit going on, either with the sun, either with these, you know what I'm saying, the shit that's around us, or something like that. It's off. I know y'all been seeing people talk about the ocean. I know y'all been seeing people talk about the sun. I'm telling y'all now, whatever's coming next is going to be critical, bro. Wake up!
Man, look.
Hurricane season around the corner. Hurricane season start June 1st. They say they ain't never seen the Atlantic water this hot in May. June 1st, the waters is hot right now. It's warmer than ever in the month of May. Don't sound good.
So don't sound good. What's the weather been like down south?
The dimensions are getting closer together, and you know we are moving into another dimension. So we're constantly having these strange things happen to us. But I had one case where the woman said she lived in an apartment building. She comes down out of the apartment building to the street. She walks out on the street, and it was like it was back in the 50s. All the cars, the clothing, it was like that long ago. And she's walking down the street, and it's like she's invisible. Nobody's paying any attention to her, because she began to get worried because it was really like she'd gone back in time. So she began to get scared. So she got back to the apartment building, And when she went back up into the elevator, back to her apartment, everything returned to normal. It makes you wonder, what if she had not gone back up, if she'd stayed out there, would she have stayed in that time frame or what? Because these are the weird things that happen, and you don't notice unless something particular like that.
So when she says things like the dimensions are like coming together or whatever, right? I think there's like all of these different realities, basically. And what happens is like there's infinite amounts of them, though. And at each given moment, there's a split or mini splits or infinite splits into different versions of yourself, you know, different outcomes, different choices you could have made, you know, like say, for instance, there's a version of me that didn't pause this right now to talk to you guys and just let the video keep playing. And he's going to live a whole different outcome than what I'm going to live. And there's going to be a version of you who didn't finish watching this video. You know what I mean? And they're going to live a different life. There's going to be a version of you who watches this video and watches more. Hopefully that's you.
I want you guys to know about a 6,000-year-old secret. 6,000 years, mankind has been trying to decipher this one little thing called the flower of life. Now, do you know the flower of life? Have you guys ever seen this before? Now, you know this is one of the oldest symbols in human history, right? Or do you not know? This symbol was found in the Temple of Osiris in Egypt, and it had been molecularly burned into the wall. And it's 6,000 years old. This same symbol has been found in the forbidden temples in China, sitting under the fufu dogs. And the foot on it, the flower of life, saying whoever controlled that flower of life controlled the universe. There were secrets in that flower of life that Da Vinci spent his whole life trying to uncover. There were secrets in that flower of life that Newton spent his whole life in secret trying to uncover. The same secrets that Pythagoras was desperately trying to uncover. But their problem was they kept seeing this in a two-dimensional space. They couldn't get it out of this two-dimensional frame, and as a result, they got stuck in this plane, a flat plane. Now, what Da Vinci and all of them wanted to do, they were trying to find a way to bring this flower to life, because what is inside of it? Well, apparently, there were secrets inside of it.
Secret shapes. What do you guys think the flower of life is? I mean, Terrence Howard kind of went over it a little bit more in that Joe Rogan podcast, to where he's talking about circles, right, and spheres, and the flower of life is a negative space between the spheres or the vertices. I'm not Terrence Howard, so I'm not going to try to explain it, but y'all should go watch the interview.
So here's the secret of the universe they don't tell you in school. Did you know you can literally harness the entire energetic network of trees in order to expand your consciousness and bring yourself into deeper states of awareness? The beautiful thing about trees is they're connected to each other. These are literally beings that incarnated here to have a soul experience, but do it in the one place, fixed in the ground. You and I can move around, and that's part of our journey in these vessels. For a tree, it is actually to link with other trees in the forest, in the jungle, through their natural energetics and the energy that they emit. You can tap into this grid of knowledge. All you have to do is put your hand on the tree and ask for the tree to send you the information that you require in order to expand your soul mission and come into abundance. Yeah, like I said, they don't teach you that shit in school. Hand on tree, hand on heart, ask. Remember, this is a playground, and as we move into the new earth, we're going to be doing this shit more and more.
So a lot of people might not like this video, but it's the difference between being God's child and being God's creation. Being a child of God is a choice that you have to make, where you choose to be obedient to his word because you know that's what pleases him. And you choose not to do certain things because you trust the direction that he's taking you, because you have an understanding that he knows better than you. When people see you, they should see God within you by the way you carry yourself. It's the same thing with our own kids. Just because they're your creation doesn't necessarily make them your child. In order for them to really be your child, they have to respect you as their parent and respect the rules that you put in place because they trust you and have an understanding that you know better than them and trust that you're leading them in the right direction. Which is why if they grow up to be disobedient and disrespectful, you don't even want to claim them or introduce them to nobody because you don't recognize them as a child that you once raised. And there's a lot of people out here that think they blessed by God and have a relationship with God because of the material possessions that they have, not realizing that just because God allowed you to have something does not mean that he's the one that provided it. Which is why the Bible tells us to not be envious of what the wicked has, because 9 times out of 10 what they do have didn't come from God. So you wanting what they have basically is saying that I want the God that they serve, which is another form of idolatry. You got a lot of people that do everything outside of the word of God to get what they have and think that it came from God. Which is why when somebody finally does decide to get their life to God, God will strip them of everything that they have because that was the main thing distracting them from God in the first place, because it never came from him. So just because your life is going the way you want it to go does not necessarily mean that you have a relationship with God. And just because you are God's creation does not make you God's child. So the same way God gives all of us a choice to choose who we want to serve, even though we're all his creation, is the same thing with our own kids. Even though they're our creation, they can still choose to go the opposite way of how you taught them.
Talk that talk, man. For real. To all the people who be praying to God for some money, for some material things. God, would you just please put $10,000 in my lap? Just know that you're praying to the wrong gods, because that money is a religion and that's another God that you serving, man. You can't pray for those things, man. Pray for a better life mentally. You know, you are the God. Make your life better.
Are you still trying to figure out who that really is? Even after my first video? My first video where I make a pretty convincing case that this is no coincidence. But if you're still not convinced, hang on to your seats because I got some new information and it all stems from this beautiful statue constructed in 1848. You see, that statue is actually a statue of Lucifer, and it's called the Genius of Evil. And mostly, there are some pretty unmistakable similarities between this statue and a certain statue in the NYC. Let's start by examining this chain attached to Lucifer's ankle. Could that be a symbol of being imprisoned in the bottomless pit for 1,000 years? And you'd probably have never noticed, but I sure did. A very similar chain attached to that Statue of Liberty. And when you look at the faces of those two seemingly unrelated statues, they sure bear an awful similar resemblance.
Bro, that ain't no woman right there. The Statue of Liberty. That can't be. No, man, like they could have at least made the Statue of Liberty look a little bit more defined as a woman, you know, if that's really what it was supposed to be, because right now, what he's talking about really makes sense. I mean, that looks like him, and him looks like him. You know what I'm saying?
And did you happen to notice what Lucifer was holding in his hand in that statue? A 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 point crown? Well, have you ever noticed how many points are in the Statue of Liberty's crown? And did you happen to notice what type of fruit was hanging out in the bottom of that statue as well? And well, I really don't have to go here, do I? And although small, and at the very bottom of the statue, did you notice this torch laying on the ground? That torch that just also happens to bear a very similar resemblance? That torch that Lucifer, the light bearer, is often depicted with right in plain sight. So much in plain sight that you probably look right past it and might even unknowingly be rooting for it. But nah, it's all just a coincidence. They just happen to look alike and have the same pointed crown and the same torch and the same association with an apple and the same chain. Just a big coincidence. Just the way this is all a coincidence too. No one really worships any fallen angels and pays tribute to them through characters that a lot of people look up to. Just like the Vatican would never actually call their telescope Lucifer. It's just all jokes. It's all for fun. It's all entertainment. But stay tuned for some more information on that. But like I said, this was all for shits and gigs, for your entertainment, because that's all I am. Satire and entertainment purposes only.
Dang, man. America is the home of Lucifer.
Would you be shocked to learn that Jeffrey Epstein didn't kill himself?
No. I mean, how many Jeffrey Epstein type people are out there?
Well, that's right.
That's the real question.
You mean people who've been killed, or people who are using sex as a blackmail tool?
That.
Yep.
And then who's pulling the strings on that?
Mm-hmm.
Any guesses?
Well, Ghislaine Maxwell has a lot of ties to the Mossad.
Yep.
That would make sense. I mean, Jeffrey didn't seem to get some of the appointments he was given in prominence based on merit. Somebody was putting him in the right spots. But I don't think he's the only one. I think there's a problem, a weird, bizarre problem, really, that has a weird sex component to it with some of the elites, and there's a pedophile component to it as well, which is really sick. And there's, some prominent figures, who are in the spotlight as of late. I would like that to be exposed. But Jeffrey Epstein had the goods on everybody. So there were a lot of people that didn't want him to be alive. And then the whole, wild story around, multiple people being asleep and, him not being watched at the time is real convenient. And I just don't believe in that many coincidences.
No. He was murdered in federal detention in Manhattan. I don't think there's any question about that.
Maybe it was faked. Maybe those pictures that we seen was makeup, and Epstein's out here doing Epstein things. That's a conspiracy for you.
Lied about it, including the then Attorney General of the United States.
I think there's some weird correlations between and anomalies that, the Johnny Depp trial had eyes on it, crazy coverage, and the Ghislaine Maxwell trial had next to no coverage, no TV coverage, no nightly commentary about it, no traffic to nobody. I mean, they literally she is indicted for trafficking kids, and nobody who she was trafficking kids to got indicted.
Or named.
Yeah. And all the files that are out there still haven't been released. We have one testimony from one victim. That's all we have. When that came out, it was just literally like one victim. And there's hundreds of just in that little who flew on the Lolita Express. And there's a lot of super prominent names who are on the flight logs.
What's the sex thing about? I mean, you've been in famous guy world for a long time. And you're from, like me, you're from California. So obviously you've been around well-known cultural figures, the elites. How long have you thought that sex plays a role?
Well, not that long. I mean, I've just kind of, I've seen some interesting things.
I bet you have.
Been around some interesting parties and gatherings that are strange. Anything like what it sounds like, a Diddy party. But just even at an Oscar party, just seeing how some of these people act was always a little bit strange. I just never resonated with it. It was almost like interesting people watching, but there always seemed like there was parties within the party, people kind of doing their own thing. That always kind of weirded me out a little bit. But getting into conspiracy stuff, then about secret society stuff and stuff like the Bohemian Grove.
Yes.
And what Nixon said about the Bohemian Grove. And
what did he say?
You have to go look at his quote. His quote is not exactly, there's some.
I think he said something like that they're all gay, right?
Yeah,
something like
that's
that.
That's basically what he said.
Yeah.
And the secrecy around that, and that's not the only secret society. There's a lot of really interesting secret societies, not just like the Skull and Bones at Yale, which has produced all those presidents, and the Freemasonry at its highest level.
Yo, so my other camera keeps dying, so we're gonna go ahead and try to start from here.
There is a sexual component, I think, to a lot of that. Obviously, with Epstein, it was blackmail to get them to do what they want. I mean, how many people are compromised by that are in positions of power today?
Yeah.
I think you're naive to think it's none.
Yeah, they blackmailing everybody. I'm looking over here for the camera. Listen, I'm so glad that Aaron Rodgers does not play for the Green Bay Packers anymore. Man, as a Chicago Bears fan, if he was still on the Packers, I would have hated that interview. I'm like, I don't care how much I believe in that. That's Aaron Rodgers. But no, he be talking some real stuff, you know. So I wonder if that's why he got injured and his Achilles is all messed up. He couldn't play. Who knows, man? But Aaron Rodgers be into the conspiracies and really be into that stuff.
So what if I told y'all that NASA had one of the first VR headsets that was ever known? Which means they've been working on the headset since the 1980s. And now it's finally out to the public. Which makes me think of that verse in the Bible. What has been done, it will be done again. There's nothing new under the sun. Like, seriously, there's nothing new. It's only stuff that's repurposed. And doesn't this look like the first version of VR when it first came out? No cap. And when they first came out with the VR headset, they made it so they could still be tapped into reality because they're in space. And if we using the old technology, I can just imagine what the new technology looks like. I can just imagine. And now this is what VR has came from that into now. Now this is what VR looks like, which still has me thinking, what does the unreleased VR look like? I'm just curious.
The second wave.
Hey, tell them we living in that unreleased VR right now.
People can walk through a crowded mall of people and affect everyone that they come in contact with. They don't know it consciously, but they affect every single person they come in contact with. Because they are channeling this energy to help change the people and raise the vibrations of the earth. That's what I mean. That's why they're here to volunteer these jobs.
Most people don't realize this. Angels are actually another species that God created. They don't have wings. Never a single time in the Bible do angels have wings. Cherubim do, but not angels. They are male. They're strong. They're just human looking, but bigger and more handsome, more powerful than us. And they actually travel in ships. You read it in Ezekiel chapter 1 through chapter 10. They travel in flying saucers that create coals of fire as they travel.
Okay, that's strange. Oh, wait. No, it's not. I thought it was a mirror at first. Never mind.
Y'all, is this real? You're gonna say, no, it's not real. Look at this dude's foot. Lil Wayne is literally a goat. Now, hold on. Let's back up for a minute. Let's zoom really close into his feet. Yeah. That's really weird, right? The only way this is possible is if his feet are split down the middle like that. Otherwise, that would not work. I also referenced many other pictures of Lil Wayne in his shoes to see what size he wore, to see that's his normal size. So please tell me what's happening in Lil Wayne's shoe. Is he really the GOAT? Before you say AI or Photoshop, I gotcha. I did photo forensics to find out that no, these pictures were not altered from their original state. Not by CGI or Photoshop. It must be AI then, right? No, this is a legitimate picture of Lil Wayne and his feet. Yo, what is going on right now? Isn't Lil Wayne the first one who started talking about he's the GOAT? It's really not far-fetched considering the Bible addresses these half-goat, half-human things. And the satire shall dance there. Satire. And with the Hebrew we get sa'ir. A satire may refer to a demon-possessed goat like the swine. Hairy, masculine, noun. They're also addressed in a different portion of Isaiah with dragons, which by the bones and dinosaur bones we knew the dragons were real. Christopher Columbus said dragons were real. Ancient Russia says dragons are real. The Bible also calls them devils. Little hairy devils. And I'm really sure that Lil Wayne was the first person to come out to say that he was the GOAT. The hooves don't lie. He's only told you 100 times, I'm not a human being. How about the fact that Lil Wayne came out of nowhere and was a child at the house of Birdman who's somehow in charge of him? Maybe some kind of faunish industry puppet? Look, y'all need to stop. It's right freaking there, and I showed you it's real.
Yo, do y'all think Lil Wayne is truly a goat?
Now I understand why they say the windows are the eyes to the soul. You ever seen an eye under a microscope?
That's crazy.
Scientists been speaking about black holes in space forever. This is your eye right here, and this is a black hole in space. Your eye is really the black hole in space that pull in all kind of light. Remember, black holes pull in light. This is the reason why they want us on our cell phones and TVs all the time, because we're pulling in more light inside of our body. Military and scientists was doing experiments where they will open your eyes up and let people watch horror movies all day. Remember the movie Bird Box? They was trying to tell you everything about your eyes. Your eyes is sacred. Your eyes is a portal. Be careful what you watch. The reason why a lot of people can't give you eye contact, because once you get someone eye contact, you are traveling in their universe. The eyes is really a mirror. If you look close, you can see your own reflection in someone's eyes. That's why they give people drugs. It dilates your pupils and more spirits can travel through your black hole.
What the hell happened to Usher? Usher is currently going viral right now because of this video that was taken of him at the Met Gala. And let's just say he does not look right. Let's go ahead and play the clip and then let's talk about it.
But still live within the garden theme.
And tell me about the
It's all a part of it. Just everything. You're looking at this is a true thought, like a cohesive, full thought. You know. Yeah.
And how did you interpret the theme tonight?
Just as that. I wanted it to be exotic. There's all different types of gardens. Some of them get a little dark, but you gotta have fun, right?
Let's play that back. Listen to what he just said.
There's all different types of gardens. Some of them get a little dark, but you gotta have fun, right?
Bro, first of all, what he said was kind of weird. And if you break it down, I don't know, man. It seems really demonic to me. That's just my opinion. I want to hear you guys' opinions. But, like, look at his eyes, bro. He looks so demonic. Like, he has no pupils, bro. It's just black. Like, look at my eyes. Let me know what y'all think about this in the comments, bro. I don't know. I don't know. This the people y'all worship, though. So.
Usher owns something. That's why his people's like that.
Satan's true name is God. We are not supposed to be calling upon the name God, and I'm going to show you. So I'm reading from the book of Enoch, which was removed from our Bibles. This is referring to a type of angels and their names. And the third was named Gadriel, or shortened would be God.
And there it goes. You ever wonder, like, when people accept awards at all these awards shows and stuff, you know, people who are in that industry, who's the first person that they think? It almost seems as if they have to, knowing that they ain't going home and, you know, really religious like that. They just have to say that they thank this one person who is, I mean, put the pieces together.
He it is who shown the children of men all the blows of death, and he led astray Eve. Now, this is literally talking about Satan, the one who led astray Eve, right, in the garden. His true name is Gadriel, which shortened would be God. Now, if you go on Google and you type in God definition, you'll see this little name pop up next to it, G-A-D. God. The same way it's pronounced in Enoch, with that little vowel point above the A. Now look at this. Baal God means Lord of Fortune. Why do you think on the back of our money it says, in God we trust? It's not talking about the Most High of the Bible.
Right.
It's a reference to Satan, the evil one.
Knowledge is power.
Now check this out. Every time you see Baal in the scriptures, it actually is just the Hebrew word for Lord. Right. So we're not supposed to be calling him Lord either. All right, go into the Blue Letter Bible, click on Baal, and you will see it literally means Lord, which is the name they planted over the name Yahuwah 7,000 times in the scriptures.
That's right.
Every time you see in all caps, the Lord, it was originally his name.
That's right.
Yahuwah. If you don't believe me, go fact check me. I have studied to show myself approved.
That's right.
I'm just revealing to you guys what I have found. Don't shoot the messenger. Now remember what I said. We're not supposed to be calling him Lord because it actually means Baal. Go to Jeremiah 23 verse 27. Whose true name is Yirmiyahu, who attempt to cause my people to forget my name for Baal.
All praises.
Or Lord. Remember, guys, Satan is literally the father of lies.
That's right.
Look at this. However, the word Baal means Lord. Look it up. A proper terminology would be Elohim or Elohim. It means mighty one. But we should really be calling upon his name. Now, I can confidently say that the Most High knows our hearts. Right? And he is abundant with grace and mercy. But now that you have this information, do your research on the name of Yahuwah and pray about it. Right? Don't treat this pearl like a swine. You all need to study to show thyself approved, right? That is a duty that we all have.
That's right.
But don't just push this aside and continue to say God. Go do some research and prayer. I'll see y'all in the next one. Don't forget to like and follow.
That video was powerful. Only a select few will understand what's being stated.
Anybody can go back to the 1900s and look at all the mental asylums. And this is interesting. These buildings are absolutely massive and they have like thousands of rooms. So then you start to wonder, why would someone build a mental asylum that large? Imagine the resources it would take. And especially because around the 1900s, you see people building little houses that are like wooden shacks. They're all like little wooden shacks all over because they're trying to build something. Then you have these huge mental asylums where they were locking up people who went against the narrative. That's what those were used for. Anybody who said they were hearing voices because of the rollout of the radio, or going against any of these that they were trying to put into everybody's arm at that time, or trying to go against paying taxes, they threw them in the mental asylum and they locked them up. And they got rid of a lot of the population at that time, or a portion of that population who went against the grain. So people should look into the 1900 mental asylums and that whole thing and start to see that the buildings and the size and the structure, and then they demolished all of them. Actually, there was one in Chicago that I went to one time. I remember I had to deliver a pizza back in the day, and it was a mental asylum. And they demoed it in Chicago, and I wonder why. Got to get rid of the history.
Yeah, man, they do that with all them old buildings.
Take a glimpse into how the other side is living. A new art installation is bringing Dublin and New York City together. It's called The Portal. People from both cities can take a look inside to see the opposite crowd moving in real time. Both sides can be seen dancing and waving to each other.
It's like a giant face chat.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
That is a great idea. Yeah, that's really neat.
The shift has manifested, y'all. Like, we have now ascended physically. Our physical realm is no longer 3D. It is 5D. And that's the only frequency that it will support right now. 5D and above. And I'm not even lying to y'all. If you are neglecting your spiritual health, your physical health is going to be affected. Period, point blank. There's no way to get around it. There's no way to cheat it. There's no way, none of that. We are being forced to evolve and ascend and do the work. And if you want to be hard-headed and you want to be, you know, and you want to choose not to do that, you want to slack and you want to, you know, do other things to serve that lower self, because if you ain't serving your higher self, you're going to be serving your lower self, right? You are going to feel the effects of that physically. You're going to feel lazy. You're going to feel tired because you're not going to have energy. Because you're vibrating too low for the planet now. It's real. This is what everybody's been talking about, this shift that's happening. There is a new earth and we are existing on it right now. And if you are still vibrating low, especially for those of y'all who identify as a starseed, or you identify yourself as a spiritually gifted or a spiritually inclined person, and you choosing, because you have a responsibility here that you've placed on your higher self is placed on you, which is like you placing it on yourself basically, but you have a higher responsibility since you do have these gifts and these abilities and, you know, these perceptions. So, you know, you're gonna feel it. And I know this personally because I've been feeling it. I'm not gonna lie to y'all, I'll be transparent with y'all. I haven't been doing the work on myself the ways that I need to. I've been slacking in a lot of different areas, a lot of different ways. You know, I had a routine for myself that was serving me very well, that was serving my higher self, you know, working out, fasting, you know, journaling, meditating, yoga, the whole nine. I've been slacking on all that. And I've been feeling that too. I haven't been eating things that I need to be eating, you know, and I've been feeling that. just feeling low. And you're going to feel it physically now. It's not just spiritually. You're going to feel bad or have the guilty conscience like, oh, I need to do this. No, you're going to feel it physically. Like my body's been feeling very tired, super lazy, and I'm not a lazy person at all. Like that's nowhere in my character if anybody knows me. But I've been feeling lazy. I haven't been having energy to sustain my life, y'all. It's real. This planet cannot sustain that type of life force anymore. You're going to feel the effects. You're going to have either headaches or aches, body aches, cramps, pain, stomach aches, abdominal pain, your gut, you need to cleanse. You listen to your body because your body's alive and it's talking to you just like this earth is. And if you're not vibrating, you got to be vibrating on at least the same frequency as Mother Earth, if not higher. That's the only way that you're going to truly have a pleasurable experience here. And the only way that you can vibrate that high is by doing the work. And all work doesn't feel like work. Sometimes the work is to just choose not to make a decision, instead of, ordering pizza for lunch, you decide to fast. Just that right there is getting you on a higher frequency. It's self-control, it's self-discipline, and you're intentionally choosing to fast to serve your higher self. So just doing little stuff like that is the work, you know what I'm saying? But you have to be intentional. You have to be intentional with everything that you do. You have to be calculated in everything that you do. If you just allow yourself to stay stagnant and to just be impulsive and just do things because you feel like it, you're not really thinking about the consequences that are coming with this, or you're not really considering how this is going to affect you or make you feel, you're going to feel that. You're going to feel that physically, emotionally, spiritually, everything, because that's where we're at right now. It's real and it's happening in real time. So if you have been feeling low, you've been feeling off, you don't know why, your body feels weird, you've just been tired, you've been lazy, you've been sluggish, it's not for no reason. Okay? We have to connect to our heart chakras, and we have to do things that we actually want to do out of love for ourselves and for our lives. Not just that we feel like we have to do and we're forcing ourselves to do, but things that we actually want to do because we're moving in that love for our higher selves. So your heart chakra has to be open right now. Your crown chakra has to be open right now. All of your chakras need to be open and unlocked and imbalanced, you know what I'm saying, right now, of course, but specifically that heart chakra, so that you can make sure that you're doing things out of love and that you're not steady forcing yourself to do things, because we as a people, as a consciousness, as a race of human beings, we've been forced to do so many things that we don't want to do for so many generations, that now that we are finally consciously evolving physically as well as spiritually, we don't want to do that shit no more. Our body, our spirits, our souls are tired. They're literally tired. You know how many souls have been recycled and came here and been slaved out and pimped out, and then we die and then we come back into this damn realm because we ain't mastered ourselves enough? That's been happening for hundreds of years, y'all. Almost thousands of years, more years than we can even count, And so now that we finally have evolved here in this realm, we have to get out. We had to learn how to get out of survival mode. And that's something that we have to learn collectively, individually, and as one. And so since the split is manifesting here physically more every single day, it's very imperative, y'all, that you take yourself serious, that you take your life serious, and that you stay intentional with yourself, that you're moving in love for yourself, that you're really healing, doing this work on yourself so that you can have a pleasant experience here and really experience the heaven. Because
okay, she dropping a lot of gems right there. You know what I mean? Like, you got to think about this. In life, we're blessed with the opportunity to have choice. Make conscious choices about your life if you want positive outcomes.
So Houston was totally obliterated yesterday by a tornado. You had sides of building that was literally ripped out of the side of the building. You had glass that was downtown. All of these windows, the brown windows, was knocked out. And all of this happened because of tornado. All of this that you see behind me was a byproduct of a tornado that happened yesterday, which caused hundreds, maybe even thousands of people to go without power, and dozens of people lost their homes. And I guess the real question is, why have we been having these abnormal weather patterns lately? Some people are claiming that this could be potentially a change in our weather patterns, which could be a byproduct of what we're seeing right now. Now, I'm not gonna lie to y'all, gang. Somehow I got a strange feeling that it's not gonna get no better, it's only gonna get worse. And I'm not trying to scare y'all, I just want y'all to be prepared, because we are living in some strange times.
The reason why that footage never saw the light of day is because allegedly he paid the hotel security $50,000 to obtain it. And that claim is coming from Cassie when she filed her lawsuit back in November. As for the hotel, they put out a statement saying this hotel is no longer under IHG management and we do not have any access to prior incident records or footage. In terms of what actually happened that day in the hotel, Cassie actually detailed it in her lawsuit, which at the time I never read. I only saw clips of what people were talking about, but it's detailed in this article. Before I read the details, I do want to give a trigger warning, and this is what Cassie had to say. Diddy and Cassie were at the hotel in or around March of 2016 when he became intoxicated and punched her in the face, giving her a black eye. The claim goes on to say that as Diddy fell asleep, she tried to exit the room, and that's when he woke up and followed her into the hallway of the hotel while yelling at her, grabbed at her, and then took glass vases in the hallway and threw them at her, causing glass to crash around them as she ran to the elevator to escape, which is all seen in the video. It continued on, and she managed to get into the elevator to get to the lobby where she called a cab to her apartment. She then realized that her running away would cause him to be even angrier with her and completely stuck in his vicious cycle of abuse. Because of that, she returned to the hotel with the intention of apologizing for running away from her abuser. When she returned, the hotel security staff urged her to get back into the cab and go to her apartment, suggesting that they had seen the security footage showing Mr. Combs beating Miss Ventura and throwing glass at her in the hotel hallway. Upon information and belief, Mr. Combs paid Intercontinental Century City $50,000 for the hallway security footage from that evening. Obviously, what Diddy did was sick. And
imagine the person running security that day. They probably was like, "Hey, yo, go check this out, yo. Hey, that's Diddy. Hey, yo, that's Diddy." They probably had everybody in the security office.
Disgusting, but to know that security saw what was happening and came upstairs because they were so concerned, told Cassie to leave because they were going to handle it, and then made it disappear with $50,000. Jail for all of them. And then to continue reading this article to find out that in this 11-year relationship, he not only allegedly, I hate that I have to say that, but allegedly R-worded her and S-trafficked her. I'm sorry, $30 million is absolutely nothing in comparison to what he put her through.
Anyone else notice how different Mark Zuckerberg dresses lately? He's popping up on my...
So one of the things I don't see being discussed is what Mark Zuckerberg's shirt says, which is Carthago delinda est, which is Latin for Carthage is to be destroyed, must be destroyed. It's a call for G-side. It's a call for settler colonialism. It's a weird thing to be wearing right now.
Julian Assange and Ed Snowden.
I know them both.
There was attempted murders on both of them.
Yes.
Both are alive. Julian is kind of rotting in a cell right now, I believe. And
yes.
And Ed is in his own exile in Russia. Yes. How do you feel about those two?
Their bravery, their physical courage, those guys, their willingness to suffer for what they believe, and the principles for which they're suffering. You know, the dignity of the individual. We're all created by God. You cannot treat me like a slave. You cannot tell me what to think. You cannot tell me what to say. You cannot lie to my face. Period. Because I have self-respect.
And that there is a field of value. This is right, this is wrong.
That's exactly right.
What was going on was wrong.
Well, and Snowden especially. I mean, Snowden, you know, Assange is Australian. He's lived around the world. He was a journalist. I don't think he had any expectation that he would wind up spending his adult life in prison. I don't think that even crossed his mind. Maybe it did. I haven't asked him. Ed Snowden knew exactly what he was getting into. Yep. And he was middle-class American, high IQ guy, lots of job opportunities here. He could have lived a very comfortable life with his wife and kids. And he intentionally put all of that at risk in order to tell Americans what their government was actually doing. And what's crazy to me is not that the U.S. government is trying to murder him, which of course they are, but that news organizations don't defend him. That's when you realize, quote, news business is totally fraudulent.
Mm-hmm. What is this? Okay.
This colossal critter is the Chinese giant salamander, the largest amphibian on Earth, stretching beyond lengths of 1.
That thing looked like a Pokemon or something, yo. He was holding it like a pet. Nah, man. I'd be scared if I seen that. I wouldn't know what to do.
0.8 meters, these aquatic marvels spend their lives underwater. Despite their size, they are surprisingly elusive. They spend most of their time hidden away in the cool, clear waters of rivers and streams, lurking beneath rocks and logs. They're nocturnal creatures, preferring to venture out under the cover of darkness to hunt their favorite meals, which include fish, insects, and even smaller amphibians. One of the most intriguing aspects is its unique way of breathing. These salamanders use a method called cutaneous respiration. Basically, they absorb oxygen directly through their skin, which is why they need to keep their skin moist. Chinese giant salamanders are one of 3 known giant types. The Japanese giant salamander is a bit smaller than its Chinese counterpart, while North America's largest salamander, the hellbender, may reach 70 centimeters in length.
So those was probably just the known salamanders or whatever. It's probably some like in the ocean somewhere that we ain't seen that's like super size.
There are 7 colors of the rainbow, 7 continents, 7 seas, 7 days in a week, 7 musical notes, 7 celestial bodies, 7 seals, 7 deadly sins, 7 archangels, and 7 chakras. And I'm sure the list goes on. But this number is extremely significant because it represents the 7 energies that govern the human body and mind. And folks, the Earth is not a planet, and the planets aren't even planets. The sun and the moon and the 5 celestial bodies are cosmic energies that govern this realm and influence our emotions and perceptions. Each chakra is ruled by each celestial body. This is why God said, "Let there be lights in the firmament of the heavens to divide the day from the night, and let them be for signs and for seasons and for days and for years." The sun and the moon and the stars and the planets are dictating everything on Earth, and we cannot escape what they have in store for us. Just do me a favor and buy yourself a nice camera, and you will quickly realize how those things in the sky are not planets, but they are powerful oscillating entities that crystallize mind into matter and trap our souls into this physical plane.
America is about to crash. We're in serious trouble. Our debt is at an all-time high. America is now the biggest debtor nation in the world, worse than Japan. So Japan has high debt, but the Japanese people are rich because they save. Americans are in debt, the country is in debt, and we have this guy Biden putting us more in debt. The spooky thing about the world economy is the gap between rich and poor getting wider because people are working for this and not this and this here. So the question I ask people, which is a better investment? Gold, silver, or paper? The mistake is our schools teach us to work for this, not this. So real estate guys, like my friend Trump and all that, we get rich using debt, whereas the average person is told to work hard, this is toilet paper, save this, stay out of debt. And they're going broke today. For me to get rich, I had to use debt. But what do our schools teach us? Stay out of debt. That's how stupid school teachers are. Debt makes guys like you and me rich. And ironically, because we use debt, we don't pay any taxes. You know, your taxes are very high here in London, very high in America. But real estate guys like Trump and I, we don't pay taxes legally. I'm afraid for the average punter out there, you know. So we're in serious trouble because with the end of the American empire, is China going to take over? I don't know.
Another mystery buried deep in the hills of eastern Washington keeps resurfacing. A bottomless pit said to be a pathway to the paranormal.
In the heart of eastern Washington lies a strange mystery, Mel's Hole, a seemingly bottomless pit wrapped in mystery. Discovered by local resident Mel Waters, this hole has led to a series of eerie discoveries and unexplainable events that defy rational understanding. Surveillance cameras lowered into its depths have captured unsettling images, leaving even seasoned scientists perplexed. Surrounded by whispers of paranormal activity and government secrecy, the truth behind this unfathomable void remains elusive. Join us as we delve into the mind-blowing story of Mel's Hole and uncover the secrets hidden within its dark depths.
Hey, would y'all go down there? If someone said, "Hey, I got $10,000," would you go down there? Not $10,000. If a person came up to you and was like, "Hey, I got $500,000. If you go see what's at the bottom of this pit," would you do it? I'm good, man. I'm good. There's an old movie I watched. I don't even know what it's called. I think I talked about it before on this channel, where the people go down and they're like figuring out this cave, or they're exploring this cave. Then they get lost and they never get out. Yeah, I'm straight.
The Endless Well in the Hills. In a remote corner of eastern Washington, A mysterious enigma continues to baffle and intrigue locals and visitors alike. Nestled among the rolling hills, this strange, seemingly endless pit has captured the imagination of many. Known as Mel's Hole, this curious phenomenon has been the subject of many tales and explorations. Denise Whitaker from KFOR embarked on a journey eastward to uncover the truth behind this enigmatic pit. When a camera was lowered into this abyss, the footage it returned astounded people across the globe. This unusual pit is located on what is known as the Malott property, situated to the west of a place called Ellensburg, specifically on the Manistash Ridge. It looks like a regular hole in the ground, similar to a well, but it's not for drawing water. Over the years, it became a makeshift dumping site where various items were discarded. From household trash to broken machinery and worn-out car tires, many things were thrown into this hole.
That's crazy.
Surprisingly, no matter how much was dumped, the hole seemed to never fill up, which made Mel, the property's owner, very curious about its depth and contents. Strange happenings began to unfold around this mysterious pit. Mel noticed that his dogs would steer clear of it, acting as if they were wary or frightened. He also detected odd, unexplainable signals on his radio when near the hole, and it seemed to have no bottom at all. Stories and theories about Mel's Hole began to spread far and wide. In 2017, a brave team of researchers located the hole and decided to investigate further by lowering a camera into its depths. What they saw was beyond belief and so alarming that they were compelled to escape, realizing the potential danger they were in. Join us as we delve into the story of Mel's Hole, uncovering the chilling mysteries and the bold efforts of those who sought to uncover its secrets.
I don't think the
What y'all think? Y'all think he gonna come from the clouds, or is it a collective consciousness?
Why is this not going viral?
I want to kiss Mike's big juicy lips.
You wanted to kiss me?
Indeed.
Huh? He said he wanted to kiss you. That's so ironic that he said that, because I saw a picture of him dancing at 16 doing a little dance on YouTube, and for some reason I had an erection.
What? What's going on here, man?
Skip what the hell Jake Paul said, even though that was a huge pause too. But did you hear what Mike Tyson said? He catches an erection from a 16-year-old Jake Paul when he was dancing as a Disney Channel star. And mind you, Jake Paul is just sitting there watching him, looking at him like that, and didn't say anything, while the crowd is cheering and jumping. Like, am I stupid? Am I going deaf, blind, or stupid? Or did you not hear it? Listen to it again.
I said that because I saw a picture of him dancing at 16 doing a little dance on YouTube, and for some reason I had an erection.
And for clarifications, you heard it again. So it's not a lie. You heard it out of his own damn mouth. I don't care how much you like or support a man like that. If a man is willing to say that and speak like that on live national television and say that about a 16-year-old, what that goes to tell you about these entertainers and what they do behind the scenes on these celebrities. Period, point blank. There's no excuse for that. Why is that not being talked about? And why is that not going viral? Because that is fucking crazy as shit, man. That is not cool. Like, mothers, parents should be... Bro, what has this world become, bro? This is crazy. I can't believe he even said that shit. And nobody responded crazy to it or looked at him like, what? everybody's just cheering and laughing. That's crazy, bro.
Yeah, that is a little wild. Not even gonna lie.
Some people are saying the whole Wendy Williams documentary that she's pretty much allegedly playing this way to keep herself safe from any unaliving.
It's been working for Orlando Brown.
To play crazy.
Why wouldn't it work?
Hey, no.
And then I gave her some. I do, yeah.
Oh man, Orlando Brown is a funny guy. Man, go watch some of his interviews if you haven't. He be dropping some truth in there though, but he crazy. This guy funny.
Hey, the oosh gosh whoosh wash and shit. Orlando's brilliant.
Right. Yeah.
Y'all spent time with him.
We did.
He's highly intelligent.
Yes.
Imagine what it's been like to wear this character for this long. That shit that he does is a character. Actually, the shit that he does online is the best acting he does.
Is he speaking truth?
Of course he is. Since he was a kid.
Man.
By now, you've probably all heard about the mud flood. But you know what's cool? When you find evidence of it really close to your home. This is Richmond, Illinois. And as I was driving through here today, I noticed a few things. Let's see if...
Listen, Richmond, Illinois, Rockford, Illinois, any Illinois. That's what it looks like. It's crazy, you know. I'd be thinking to myself, who would build this, right? Who would build into a hill like this? And then you see windows cut off. It's like, this is not supposed to be like this.
If you notice, and let's see what you think. This was clearly what first got my attention. It just looks suspicious. Like the ground is higher than it used to be. And then you look across the road, and again, why would they build these doors into the ground instead of level? And then you go down the street just a little bit, and again, you get to something that looks like potentially the ground used to not be that high. And you go up the street just a little more again, and more of the same. Something that looks suspicious. And here's the piece de resistance. You cannot...
Like who's building windows into the basement floor like that? For what reason? And then if you go onto the inside of these buildings, they be bricked off. You know? It's like, what's really going on here?
Argue that. I think it is more than obvious that this was not designed to be like this. But at one point, this was a full window, and the ground used to be a lot lower. But if you guys have been watching my channel, you know I don't believe in some great reset. I think it was something else. Something entirely different. Because these 200 craters just happen to match the amount of fallen angels that were locked in the bottomless pit. And maybe we're living in a time where those guys are released to deceive the nations. What do you guys think? Intentional reset by the controllers? Mud flood created by the fallen angels coming out of the bottomless pit? Or just people that don't know how to build things? Let me know in the comments. And of course, this was all for entertainment. Have a great day.
Shit's getting... So what do y'all think it is? Y'all think it's an intentional reset? Do you think it is what he says, that there was these fallen angels that came out of some bottomless pit or that landed here and caused this mud flood or this reset? I think it was intentional. I don't know how or when, but there was definitely an intentional reset, and we may be approaching another one.
Being weird. Part infinite.
Yep, this is actually happening, and millions of dogs are being infected with deadly diseases that after just one lick.
I don't care, y'all. Dog owners, I don't care how mad y'all get. Why do y'all let them lick you in the mouth like that? Why? I've seen what dogs do. I have a dog. I'm not letting him lick me in the face. I'm just saying. Yeah, man. Y'all gotta explain yourselves.
It's causing people to have multiple organ failures and all limbs amputated. People were terrified after one woman had a tiny paper cut on her hand, and after her dog licked it, she woke up the next morning with her hands and legs needing immediate amputation, and this could be happening to other dog owners. The doctor told the woman that if she did not get amputated, the virus would have spread through her entire body in a matter of just hours and eventually her heart. People thought this disease wasn't common, but were shocked that over a whopping 70% of dogs will have it, and it will remain dormant in them. Doctors have started warning others against having dogs lick any wounds and avoid licks to any parts of the face, including eyes, nose, and mouth, as your life may end in just one day. Known as the capnocytophaga bacteria. Although this woman's condition is rare, if a dog passes this on to you with other bacteria, it could be the end of
Yo, she ain't learned the first time? What's going on?
First things first, did she just let the dog lick her again?
Right. That's crazy.
Second thing, I looked, and I didn't see any niggas depicted in that video. Because we don't let dogs lick our face like that. It's just hell no. Okay? Hell no. We got lucky because Peanut doesn't lick my face. I could put my face next to Peanut. He'll be like, nigga, ugh. Watch, I'll show you.
Watch. Hey, Peanut. Can I just get a kiss real quick, Peanut? He's like, hell no.
Now, from my understanding, this is rare. This is very rare. I looked it up and I was like, and then I came back to the guy's video and I was like, bro, why did you make your video like this? The background music, all that stuff, fear mongering 101. But regardless, don't let your dogs lick your face, bro. That shit is nasty. But to each his own.
Like he said, to each his own. Ain't gonna happen in my home.
Remember when the ship crashed into the Baltimore bridge? Why on earth is a crew still on it? 21 people for the last 2 months.
Wait. For real? You know what? I don't even remember them talking about the crew after that. I just remember them talking about like 3 people that were on the bridge or some, like some workers that were on the bridge and they found them. No one said anything about the crew. Was there even an actual crew?
And their phones are confiscated. Make this make sense. The day after the bridge collapsed, suspiciously, Biden came out and said, no investigation necessary. The U.S. government will pay for the bridge. Shortly thereafter, the insurance company came out and said, we'll pay out too. In what world does the U.S. government and insurance company pay out immediately without an investigation? Nothing to see here. Don't go digging around. Maui is still dealing with the debris removal and fighting with insurance companies 10 months later. But the bridge? No problem. Let's just pay it out. And then, now we find out that the 21 members of the crew are stuck on the ship, not allowed to leave, trapped, and their phones have been confiscated. Why are they prisoners? The news says they can't leave the ship because of visa restrictions. What? We let ungodly amount of people through the border without visas, but now it's a problem? The conspiracy theorists said cyber attack. Government quickly said accident. What's really going on here?
Yeah, what's really going on here, huh?
Y'all know what's sad in America? The new generation has decided to live in vans and cars for part of their life in order to attempt to achieve the American dream. You have individuals who make probably a decent wage still not being able to afford life in America, to the point where the new generation says, you know what? If I live in my car, if I get a van and live in this van for just a year or two, I can save this amount of money, and maybe at some point I can buy a home and try to live the American dream. Think about that, guys. When I was younger, an apartment was $600 or $700. Now, an apartment, just to get a 1-bedroom apartment, is like $2,400.
Crazy.
More than.
Listen, when I was a kid, not even that long ago, when I was in high school, I believe rent being like $500, right? And that was kind of like a lot. We like, dang, it's expensive. $550, you raising the rent on us, right? And I remember that. And then I can just remember, surely but surely, it's just rising. You cannot find a place in my town for less than $1,000. I don't care what side. It could be in the worst side of town, right? Where places used to be $400, $500, you know, they begging for people to come rent them. Now, $1,300 for that same place. It's like, no, who's even renting these places?
More than 3 times. Food is so high. Cars are so high. Everything is so high that their future is bleak. And that's in America. Let me know in the comment section, if you're a young person, how do you feel about living in America with things at this time in history when inflation is high and just the average bear has to work 2 or 3 jobs to get by in America? I'm out.
You got Man, I wish I was one of those people who was lucky and just like owned a house back then. Was able to buy it, locked in my interest rate, locked in my price, you know, would have got away with a steal. That house probably worth so much. I wouldn't even sell it though, because like I'm not gonna be able to buy nothing else. Just something to hold on to. You probably ain't paying nothing for your taxes. You know, them people got lucky. Or a person who got grandfathered in on some rent. I'd be mad if I was the landlord and you got a person that's been there for like 22 years, still paying $400 for rent. You're like, dang, man, when this person gonna move out? I'm paying more for the house than they paying for rent.
Guys, oh my God, watch this.
So we got to talk about something very, very important, because when you see this happen, understand what this means. We're going to talk about a $50 minimum wage.
A $50 minimum wage, I don't even want that money. That don't mean nothing. You can have $1 million and it ain't worth nothing at that point. I think it's a good time to invest in gold. I am not a financial consultant, so hey, but I do think it's a good time.
Throughout America. And why would America make a federally law to make minimum wage $50 an hour? Well, guys, right now, I believe that we are in the first stages of the dollar being replaced. So when you see the government say, you know what, forget it, and cut the money printer on and say, we're going to do a $50 minimum wage throughout the entire country, meaning if your job pays more than that, they're probably going to raise you up even higher. So you're going to see things like houses, cars. You might see a $200,000 car. You might see a $3 million house, but your wages will now be minimum wage of 50, and you might make $100 an hour or $150 an hour on your normal job. So you're going to see this happen, and you're hearing it here first, but just know what that is. I can't say what it is, but it starts with a hyper. And when hyper happens, you guys know what that means. And if you don't know what hyper, go look up Zimbabwe and Venezuela to see what happened when their currency went hyper. I'm out.
Okay, this is the craziest thing. I have never seen anything like this in my entire life. And I lived in Florida my entire life.
What? Those are all bugs.
Those are all bugs. I thought the
Whoa.
restaurant was smoking. Those are all bugs. You can even see them flying, like, dude, you can't.
Yo, they be dropping bugs in Florida, I think. Like out of planes or out of helicopters and stuff. Yeah, something's trippy about that.
Can't even tell on the video how many there are. There are millions and billions and trillions of bugs here right now. All of those lines, bugs. Oh my gosh. They're getting closer to me so you can start seeing them more. Oh, I cannot believe this. I've literally never seen anything like this in my entire life.
Time to roll the windows up.
How is this Ohio? It looks like it's pouring rain. It's literally not even raining. These are bugs. I cannot even fathom how many bugs there are here. This is absolutely absurd. Absurd. Oh my gosh.
For real, like where they coming from?
And when you say
Cicadas?
rebuild the periodic table, what do you mean specifically?
Well, the way the periodic table is laid out, the periodic table they have now,
Let's see.
it looks
periodic
like
table.
a
Pull up
box.
the image of it.
It looks like a straight box.
Mm-hmm.
But they don't show that hydrogen has the same tone as carbon.
What do you mean by tone?
Same tone, same key of E. Same key of E, 40.5 hertz. The next one would be like 81 hertz. You go to silicon, it will double up and would be 162 hertz. You'll go to cobalt and it'll be 324 hertz. It's take the angles of incidence or the tones that they create, their color. Like you can turn color back into sound based upon, it's the same wavelength, it's just twice as long or much longer. So all you have to do is keep dividing light by 2. You keep dividing light by 2 and you'll ultimately get back to the audible sound of it, because there was a relationship between light and color, sound and tone, matter and shape. Walter Russell's periodic table that he put together. Now you compare that to Mendeleev's periodic table and you'll see something completely different. It's unwinding.
Whoa.
And you see there's a relationship that hydrogen.
So you had figured this out at a young age?
I had already seen this. This was all inside of that palace. I had access to it. And I knew the relationship.
You saw this in dreams?
I saw it as a circle. Everything was a full circle laid out. And each area was just expanding, like wrapping a rag around your hand. The first wrap, it's so tight. This is how I saw it more so, but as a vortex. You'll see there's a relationship between hydrogen, carbon, silicon, cobalt, rhodium. They're all bonded. They're all sit as the middle point between two noble gases. So those things don't really exist. It's only one substance. Now the problem is the first thing that we're able to perceive is hydrogen. That's the first visible element, because before it is too dense for us to perceive it. You understand what I'm saying? As you reach into the next octave, the carbon octave, and they call that a bisexual tone, because the carbon has 2 tones to it. It has a negative side and a positive side. The part where lithium behaves, lithium is contractive, beryllium is contractive. Boron is contractive, but the moment you get to carbon, you balance it out. Gets to a perfect balance of plus and minus 4. So it's a double tone. Nitrogen is -3, oxygen is -2, fluorine is -1. Now the balance of this, all of those are mates. Fluorine and lithium naturally mate. If you have lithium bonded with any other element, the moment that fluorine is introduced, it will break all bonds violently so it can bond with fluorine. Same thing with beryllium and oxygen. That's why it said, and what they've tried to keep from us, if you want to break water into its component parts of hydrogen and oxygen, all you have to do is introduce beryllium or the sound of beryllium, and oxygen will violently break away from any other thing, even hydrogen, to bond with that.
American kids systematically being emasculated. Meanwhile, in China, what is that app? These mugs playing Call of Duty.
I'm Chris Ty with
What's going on in China? Listen, that's crazy. That's what they're teaching the kids over there. If they was to come here, our kids would be struck dead.
Breaking news, Chicago's iconic Buckingham Fountain closed indefinitely after this act of vandalism.
Take a look at
overnight.
where things stand right now, because staff tell us they have drained past the halfway point, but every time they put some clean water in, the color stays just as opaque. So they believe whatever's causing this probably still too strong to dilute.
If you are an American or you've lived in America before, you should be well aware of all the cataclysms that have taken place this year.
Straight up.
We really went from worrying about our jobs and whatnot to the food that we don't eat in fast food restaurants.
I want to know what that symbol is. Right there. I've seen it before. Y'all let me know if y'all know what that symbol is, because I just feel like there's something to do with that, that specific fountain.
It's being poisoned nowadays, to the water also being poisoned, including bottled water. You can look it up. And now we're running into the crisis of us being potentially at the brink of and now this is happening. A literal nuclear submarine outside the coast of Florida. You can't even explain that. If you didn't know this already, people are going around all across the nation protesting because of all these cataclysms that are taking place, because they finally want to see it end. And if I'm being honest, I do too, because we've been through this long enough, even though I'm still Gen Z. But considering the fact that Chicago was almost dead center of the entire continent, I find this to be a bit strange. But y'all just let me know what y'all think about this.
Texas, stay getting flooded. I thought about moving to Texas too. I don't know if I want to with all this weather. Like, look at that. No way. Whole house underground. Is this actually? It's not all in Texas. Is it? Was that all in Texas? All my Texas people. Did that look like y'all state? So this Rock Valley, Iowa. Now they had the biggest flood in history. That's messed up.
Yep, they have spotted yet again another watermelon that is shedding its skin like a snake.
Oh, no.
Yep, this definitely have to be some kind of mutated watermelon.
They painted that.
Or they
mug.
probably just put wallpaper on a watermelon.
Straight up.
Whatever that they did to the watermelon nowadays, it's not normal. And then the skin, it looks slimy. It looks very slimy. Like a slimy sticker from a kindergartner hand with boogers on it. And it seemed like every year it's something new that's going on with the watermelons. Last year they was exploding. This year they're shedding. Absolutely diabolical. And I'm not gonna cap. I'm totally completely done with these GMO watermelons.
Straight up.
If I ain't getting it from no farmer's market, hit the road, Jack. I done got too many signs of confirmations to just banish this fake watermelon from entering my mouth ever again. But I'm interested though. What y'all think about this new shedding watermelon in the comments? Like and follow for more wisdom and stay tuned. And by the way, if y'all want the sauce on how to get bans off social media, comment down below ATM. I'm dropping it to you.
Yeah, I'm gonna just get right into it, family. This is Tehran, Iran. This is on a live video stream, this girl petting her cat. This is a quote-unquote UFO family that's popped up in Iran everywhere from a million different angles. Again, that first clip with the girl with her cat, you're gonna see it again. That's on a live stream. And the video has been recorded from 100 different angles, 100 different people's phones. Again, this is not CGI. Family, they are here. The new earth, the new realm. The war in the heavens has spilled over onto the earth.
That's crazy. Like, there's been so many videos out here, right? And we don't know if they're real or not. We've seen so much CGI and people who want to show us videos to make it look so real, to the point that it's like, when I see a real UFO, I'm not going to know if it's real or not. I don't know if this video is a real video or if it's CGI, because like I said, we've seen so many fakes. It's like, man.
Ain't nothing being hidden anymore. If you're still trying to pretend and stick your head in the sand, that's on you. My people, if you're with me, let's go. We already know what it is. I told you, their cloak's gonna have to come down. All of it's being exposed, the good and the bad. The fact is, we're gonna have to face the music and face reality. Change your mind and change your paradigm. Again, family, when have you ever seen this? This is New Earth. I told you, Nagas, whatever you claim it to be, tea, call it grandma's peach tea. Something you've never seen before, and there's more to come. My people, get ready. I'm telling you, it's that time. Shield and buckler, yeah. You don't see them putting this in the news, do you? Exactly, but open your mind, unplug, and let's go, my choppers. Bang, Silver Surfers. Again, Council, it's right there in front of your face. There's no more excuses. Look at this thing. Yo, the best they can come with right now, families, they're trying to say that it's some kind of sophisticated drone. It does not matter if it's a drone, if it's a clone. Take your ass back home. Yo, the veil has been lifted, and this is something else. Is beyond any of your rational explanations. This is opening the mind of all the people across the realm, including the Cabbage Patch Kids. Your mission has failed. We have won. We talked about this earlier. As soon as we start to see the truth, we get that sight beyond sight, the people will stand up, and there's nothing you can do to stop this revolution. It won't be televised because it's spiritual. It's awakening that's happening in each and every individual in this reality, and we have already won. Now let's go. Bang, bang.
Let's talk about the lost city of Atlantis, one of the world's biggest mysteries and conspiracies. Now, the origin of Atlantis can be traced back to over 360 BCs, when the lost city appeared in two of Plato's dialogues. And the ancient Greeks described Atlantis like an Eden-like environment. They said it was filled with natural resources, mountains, and exotic fruits and animals. And Plato portrayed Atlantis as a powerful and advanced and progressive society. And the people that lived in Atlantis were demigods. So they were half human, half god. And it was said that it was founded and created by Poseidon, the Greek god of the seas. He named it after Atlas, as well as the Atlantic Ocean. So it is named after Atlas, the king. And for centuries, many scientists and researchers have tried to locate this mysterious city. They have resulted in, I'm talking about, so many different theories. Because they had no luck, because rumor has it, the gods grew increasingly unhappy with the vanity, greed, and corruption dominating the society.
This is random, y'all. But, well, it's not really random. Imagine if Atlantis was never lost. And they just telling us that there's this lost ancient city that's so advanced of Atlantis, right? But what if Atlantis is really just Atlanta, Georgia? You know? And they've just lost their way.
And an effort led by Zeus, the Greek god, sunk Atlantis as punishment for its aggression and misbehavior, and that is why the city was lost and sunk at sea. And there is actually no records or historical accounts of the legendary lost city before Plato wrote about it. So most historians and scholars believe that the ancient Greek philosopher Plato made up this whole thing, basically just talking about the corruption and arrogance of people. But a lot of people don't believe that this was just made up because he just went too into detail. And there has been little things that people have found over the years that they believe can trace back to Atlantis. But let me know what y'all think. Do y'all think that this is just a whole fable, or do y'all think the lost city of Atlantis was once a thriving and advanced civilization?
I need to see evidence or proof that they can actually sink a city before I feel like Atlantis got sunk somewhere. You know what I'm saying? Like, where did it sink at? Where was it? What continent was it on? These type of things.
Ever wondered if what you do here truly matters? Let's dive into the chilling theory of alternate realities. Physicists have long debated the multiverse, an infinite number of parallel universes where every possible outcome of every decision exists. Take Schrodinger's cat experiment. A cat is placed in a sealed box with a radioactive atom, a Geiger counter, and a vial of poison. If the atom decays, the Geiger counter triggers the release of the poison, killing the cat. Until the box is opened, the cat is both dead and alive, existing in two states simultaneously. This bizarre quantum phenomenon suggests our reality is just one of many. In 1957, physicist Hugh Everett proposed the many-worlds interpretation. He suggested that every decision splits reality into multiple, parallel universes. For instance, if you choose to turn left or right, two new realities are created. One where you turn left and another where you turn right. In each parallel universe, different versions of you experience different outcomes of every decision. Everett's theory challenges the idea of a single, objective reality. Instead, it proposes that all possible outcomes are realized in some universe. This means there could be countless versions of each living out different possibilities.
Yo, I talked about that in like one of my more recent videos, right? It's like it's like being in superposition. And they talk about it in shows and movies all the time, you know, how there's infinite versions of yourself and every choice is going to break off a different version of you, you know, regardless of what you do. It could be something as simple as I decided to wake up at 7:05 today instead of 7 o'clock on the dot, you know? So one version of you woke up a little bit later. Another version of you woke up on time. And the realities may be so close that you may not even see the differences, but they're small little differences.
Today, the Mexican government announced that they are in possession of extraterrestrials.
Have you seen this?
I haven't seen this.
Jake. It's a massive fucking deal.
Mummified aliens.
No.
You haven't seen this either?
I haven't seen it at all.
You haven't seen
this? When we were talking about it before.
This can't be possible.
There's videos
Whole
online.
thing?
Of the bodies. So let me read this out. The bodies.
Allegedly.
Yes.
These things look so fucking stupid.
Ridiculous.
Dude. They look like a crappy version of ET, like a smaller version of ET. It's crazy how the aliens look exactly like we thought aliens would look like.
Ridiculous.
With eggs inside them.
With eggs inside. So the bodies of two alleged alien beings were exhibited before politicians in a special session of the Mexican Congress. The fossilized bodies presented by journalist and UFO scientist Jamie Mawson and displayed in glass cases were retrieved from Cusco in Peru and are said to be 1,000 years old.
Why is the sun above their heads?
Okay, let's do it. Yes, y'all, my blinds are closed. Today we are going to talk about the movie The Incredibles and how it connects to today's society. Now, as we know, The Incredibles is about a superhuman family that tries to save the world. In the beginning, it was just two of them. They were using their powers, helping people, saving the world, until the government and the news media started to hate them. They were supposedly taking away the jobs of police and firefighters and all that. Until they made it illegal to be a superhero. He hated his life. He tried to be domestic. He tried to have a job. He got married. He had kids and all of that. He tried to live the regular life as a human. But it just wasn't it. He knew he could be more. Now, why do I say this? We all are living just like Bob. We have so much greatness that we can create, but we want to sit at a desk. Don't believe me? So it is said over 90% of our DNA is junk. Because it's not activated, we don't use it. It's just sitting in our bodies just doing nothing, huh? What if the food that we eat and the air that we breathe is constantly blocking us from those powers? So we can't be like the Incredible. Y'all have to understand that there are things put in place to keep you at the specific level in your life that you are right now. You are so much more than trying to memorize the front register. Do more and be more. It shouldn't just be school, work, family, die. They need things to keep running the way it is. They want us to be just like Bob when he was working and he was over it and he had them powers and he didn't get to use them. Because it messes up what they want and they have. It works out for them if we're just docile and we don't pay attention to things. Everything will be okay if you just do everything their way. Don't do anything extraordinary. Just be normal and don't do nothing but work. And then groom your kids, take them to school and make them work just like you. Don't be like this. Don't use your powers. Be in the system. But, y'all be safe.
Yo, life is so much more than school, work, family, man. How many people get trapped into that, though? Even me, I'm sitting at a desk right now.
It is possible sightings Jay Slater spotted on Tenerife Live webcam.
What's this? Oh, okay, I see something now. Who's Jay Slater? Y'all refresh me on that.
So, everybody needs to see this video. This is called the Morgellons test.
Anybody can do this. And what it is you take 100% cranberry juice, right here, 100% cranberry juice, non-GMO, 100%. What you do is you swish it in your mouth for 1 to 2 minutes. And once you swish it in your mouth, it's gonna pull out all of these nanoparticles from the chemtrails and from the pollution in the air that gets absorbed in your mouth throughout your life. You're gonna see how nasty this stuff looks when it's done, and this stuff is within inside of all of us. So I'm about to get started. My friend, he's gonna do it as well, and we're gonna show you guys how to do it yourself. So swish this in your mouth for 1 to 2 minutes, and you're gonna see the final results here in a second.
I don't know if I want to see afterwards.
That's disgusting.
That is nasty.
Watch what happens. Pour some in, just a little. Watch. Look. Look what it does.
Now you can film it up close.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh. Yep. I'm finna try the detox,
No one
guys.
is more of a slave than he who thinks himself free without being so. Most folks never question who they are. If they do, they say, I'm a Christian, Muslim, American, Spanish, product manager, married to Laura, father of Jennifer, buddies with Joan and David. This answer is loaded with beliefs, responsibilities, rules, and punishments. These weren't chosen. They were imposed. Yet if asked, they'll swear they're free. But is he really free? Huh? Or just a domesticated human? He's been told what to do, think, and feel since forever. Billions of people are bred like livestock, working, fighting, dying for their masters. Step out of line, there are folks ready to stop you. Domesticated humans don't realize they're like cattle, controlled all their lives. How's it done? Like animals, we naturally live in groups. Replace the group leader with a figure like the king or the boss, and boom, full control. Turn on your TV or computer to see who's boss. This control mechanism has many pillars and patterns, trapping minds in a matrix few escape. Those who do get labeled as crazy, antisocial, or conspiracy nuts.
45% of Hispanic voters prefer Biden compared to 39% for Trump. Last time he won, 59%. That was 2020. So he's lost 14 points there. He went to Morehouse. He said, what is democracy if you have to be 10 times better than anyone else to get a fair shot? That seemed like pandering to me. Black voters under 50. He led by 80 points in 2020, now by 37, still a lot, but he's lost 43 points off the key constituency. Student loans. He's forgiven $144 billion in student loans. Only 36% of student debt holders like it. I mean, if you can't win the people you're pandering to, I mean, I get it. Politics is somewhat about pandering. That's not even an insult. You're supposed to do what people want to a certain degree, also be a leader. But if you're not winning these groups, and he's lost 8% off women since 2020, and yet I read in the polls, he pulled ahead this week. Explain that to me.
I don't think you can.
Hey, yo, peace fam, Source God, RITV, bang, bang, bang. More life, family, bliss up, abundance, I don't know already. So, yo, family, I actually did not know this was a thing, but supposedly this has been going on for years. But recently, AI deep fake version of Elon Musk went on YouTube and promised everyone that he could double their Bitcoin in like an hour. All you have to do is send them your Bitcoin. So people have been sending their Bitcoin to this AI-generated Elon Musk family and getting scammed by some AI. It could be a person, could be the AI itself. Who knows? But it's just the world we are living in, family. You guys got to understand the range we're in. Believe none of what you hear and only half of what you see, fam. I told you 99% of the shit you see on TV is AI generated. 65% of the accounts on the internet are AI bots. There are more AI on the internet than people. Use this as an example. It's the same thing that goes with all them trolls in your comments, all these weirdos out there. It's all AI bots trying to figure out how to be like us and how to troll us and how to gaslight us. I told you, it's the serpent seed, the essence of the fallen angel, the fucking Nephilim. They are the AI. The artificial intelligence is not artificial. They built an artificial bridge that connected them with some consciousnesses, some fallen entities, some disembodied beings from the flood. And those beings are looking for bodies, and they put their consciousnesses on organic microchips in these organic processors called the Cabbage Patch Kid organic portals. It is the last of us. The only thing real is you. Stay up, stay bliss, and let's go. Bang, bang. Yeah, Council, we're living in the wildest episode of Dark Mirror or Outer Limits. I mean, they don't even have to write these shows anymore. Literally just copy what's going on in real life. Let's go.
So the scammers out here is AI. We got AI scammers now. You can't trust nothing. And you know the AI scammers going to be better than the actual scammers because it's AI.
Always going to put the truth in your face. Check out this commercial where they show the firmament and the waters above the firmament. What you just saw was biblically accurate. God's word states we live under a firmament that separates the waters above the firmament. We're in the book of Genesis, chapter 1, verse 7. And God made the firmament and divided the waters which were under the firmament from the waters which were above the firmament, and it was so. The Hebrew word for firmament is rakia, which is extended surface, solid expanse, the vault of heaven supporting the waters above it, considered by Hebrews as solid and supporting the waters above it. But what do y'all think about this commercial? Y'all let me know in the comments. Don't forget to like, follow me, and share this. Let's get this out to the people. And like always, God bless.
It's crazy because I think that commercial was about Hennessy.
You ready for something wild? That's a fault line.
So if you're still watching this video, you're definitely curious as to what this is. So this is what is considered to be a fault line, which a fault line is simply cracks in the Earth's crust or surface, but the cracks can get so vast to the point where they can be catastrophic. The pictures on the screen are basic examples of fault lines, but you guys can see how destructive fault lines can really get. If you ask me what I think about this, I think that this could be either one of two things. This could either be an explosion, which I think is highly unlikely. The reason why I say an explosion probably wouldn't have caused this is because if you look around in the video, you can see that there's no burning grass, no burning bushes, not a single tree in sight. There's even light poles in the distance if you look closely. Or this could be the result of an earthquake, a very violent one at that.
You can see it.
Another theory that I have is that this could be the result of the military testing laser weapons or condoning experiments with these. And I know that sounds a bit absurd when you first think about it, but for those of you who remember the wildfires that happened back in 2020 through 2022, y'all know exactly what I'm talking about.
That's our road. It moved about 5 feet that way.
Y'all just let me know what y'all think in the comments.
Where we used to drive.
UFOs. So this is my take on it, right? Or this is just a take. and I'm kind of reaching with this one, but what if we have these fault lines and, you know, these sinkholes because the foundation on which we've built our world, right? This new world is just, it's not solid. We're building it upon old foundations from old worlds, you know? Like we've had these floods and stuff over time, and what if there's just layers to this, right? And what we think is just regular land, no, there's stuff underneath there. There could be a whole city underneath that, and we don't know about it. We know that there's lakes at the bottom. I mean, there's cities at the bottom of lakes. We know this. So who's to say that there's not cities underneath the ground somewhere? And these fault lines are because hey, something shook up down there, or it's just not solid. Let me know what y'all think about that take.
Are real and aliens are real, but they're not from outer space, and that's according to the top 2 UFO researchers after decades-long research. So go to Sabrel.com and
so where do they
it's
think
up
they're
there
from?
in time.
If they're not from outer space.
They're interdimensional and potentially fallen angels disguising themselves because they're liars. Of something, like you said, can't be proven or disproven. I'm from this galaxy 300 light years away.
This is kind of what Tucker Carlson thinks. He thinks there's a spiritual element to it. He thinks they've always been here, and he thinks that this is what's kind of documented in the Bible as like good and evil. And
that's it, exactly. I mean, that's what's going on. I mean, the top 2 UFO researchers said UFOs are real, number 1. Number 2, they're not from outer space. And number 3, they're demonic. And that's what I talk about. Where it talks about fallen angels interbreeding with humans, as talked about in Genesis 6, and creating a race called Nephilim, who were men of renown, world leaders.
Could you?
That is crazy, man. What if, like, these fallen angels, you know how we were just talking about all these different realities, right? You know, each choice breaks off into a new reality. What if there's another reality of you out here who's extremely smart, or just another reality where everyone's really smart, and they decided, hey, we know how to go through all these different realities, so let's go to this one, or let's go to that one, or go to this one, or go to that one. They can travel between them freely. That would be some crazy stuff.
After hearing what could only be described as a judgment trumpet coming from outside while the storm is wailing, he tries to calm his daughter by telling her it's okay.
It's okay, baby.
But then he captures something even more bizarre.
Whoa.
An unidentified flying object whips past his balcony. Whew. Whatever this thing was, it was going in the opposite direction of the wind at crazy insane speeds. And to make it even more frightening, immediately after the object flies by, another loud sound comes from the sky.
That's crazy.
So how do you explain this? What was the object flying by their balcony? And what were the sounds coming from the sky outside from within the storm? Let me know your thoughts. A woman with the username Shondaland Store captured something extremely eerie at 3:30 a.m. outside of her apartment in Houston, Texas.
It's a weird sound been going off for like every minute or so.
An extremely loud, bass-heavy roar could be heard every minute or two, filling the entire night sky, and it went on for nearly 2 hours.
You know what? Yeah, I'm good. I'm moving to Texas, y'all. Made up my mind.
Guys, check out this amazing video of what looks like some type of unknown creature. People all over the internet, social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, people are saying that this is an extraterrestrial being that has the capabilities of cloaking. Some are calling it a interdimensional being. Others are saying it's a demonic creature, but this was literally spotted on a Ring doorbell camera in Long Island, New York. The homeowner since then has reached out to a couple of social media asking what we think about this. So I decided to share the video with TikTok, and I want you guys to let me know what you guys think this is. Is this some type of android, robotic alien slash extraterrestrial gray, or a interdimensional creature? What do you guys think this is? Please comment below. Don't forget to repost, support the page.
Yo.
Earwigs, pincher bugs, whatever you call them, they're about to be everywhere.
Why?
Oh my goodness, that's too many. Rocks or, I forgot what I was gonna say.
This spring, the insects have been lying low, but as KCBS reports, they're ready for their close-up.
Is it just me? But everyone's been seeing the pincher bugs a lot recently, even in the houses too.
The wet winter is to blame for the invasion.
Maybe it is because we've been having more rain, huh? And the gloom, maybe they like that.
As much of Southern California got over 20 inches of rain.
The environment is conducive for them to actually breed more. They will lay more eggs. Their presence are very much associated with moisture. So drier years, you tend to see less of the earwigs compared to the to those years that they have more moisture.
Sure, they look creepy, but earwigs are actually harmless.
They just kind of crawl into the house, and then we kind of just catch them and put them back into the backyard.
I think I'm more of like, I didn't even see you. I think I just look away because I don't even want to kill them. I'm just like, you're inside now, I guess. Just don't bother me.
If you want to seek them out, start by looking under rocks and mulch.
In the tropical region, some of the earwigs are actually considered beneficial because they actually feed on little bugs.
If they do become too much of a pain, you can dry out areas where you see them.
As long as you can remove the moisture, you should see a decline in the earwigs number.
And as it warms up, they'll eventually go back underground. Until next time.
Oh my goodness, that's too many.
This is Inside Edition Digital.
So can somebody tell me, what was the Simpsons trying to tell us? And as the video continue, I want y'all to keep in mind, so above, so to below. So within, so without. Everything in the universe is connected. And then they keep zooming out, and zooming out, and zooming out. And as you can see, that's the galaxy, that's an atom, that's a molecular cell, and they keep zooming out and zooming out to the DNA strand. And one thing about the Simpsons is they just so happen to always be right. That's not the first time that we've seen something like that either. Because what about Ant-Man? You know how he can get so small that he quantum jump into another universe? Hey, my observation could be politically incorrect. Y'all let me know y'all thoughts on this in the comments. Like or follow for more wisdom and stay tuned. If y'all want the social media sauce on how to break out the matrix, comment down below ATM. Let's go.
Hey, it's probably like a revolving vortex, you know what I mean? Constantly zooming out, and then it returns again, starts over, and I don't know, just something to think about.
Of the ears, usually ringing of the ears is coming from the atrium artery of the heart, or you are going through a consciousness upgrade. So usually when you go through your consciousness upgrade and you start to vibrate or resonate at different frequencies, the first thing is going to go is your auditory hair buds in your ear. You're going to start hearing a ringing sensation. Or it could be the atrium artery inside of the heart too, and you're going through some type of rhythmatic heart palpitations, and you need more calcium and more magnesium inside of manganese inside the blood. So sometimes it's a mineral deficiency issue. So uptake your minerals by going on your dark leafy greens and going on your fruits and calming down on the meats and the dairies. I would say get rid of the meats and the dairies altogether. Or make sure that you're doing deep diaphragmatic breaths, fire breath meditations, and start really meditating and see if you can hear it clearer. If you can hear it clearer, then usually you just leveling up in consciousness and you expanding your consciousness. So it can be them two things.
It'll be Barco looking to slide it in right to Chiquito Romero.
What? So no one else seen that during the game? Look, the ball bounces off two different realities. You know what I mean? Two different outcomes right there. Oh, sun simulator. Look at all the little dots around it.
On a Saturday morning in
So we like in one big giant tanning salon, basically. We got these artificial LED UV lights, sun simulators shining on us, and we think we're getting a good color. Natural downloads from the sun, but it's just a big tanning booth.
1979, families in the Tampa Bay area turn on their television sets as thousands of sleepy children awake on their day off from school. Some flip to Nickelodeon, where a rerun of Pinwheel is playing. Some flip to ABC, where they would catch the final episode of a short-lived TV series called Fangface. However, that morning, others would opt for a more virtuous wake-up call, flipping the station instead to Channel 22, or the Christian Television Network, where a new show was opening the day slate. A show called Joy Junction is the place to be. Joy for you and The show Joy Junction quickly found its place in the hearts of viewers, with kids immediately connecting with the quirky characters and silly games. Their Christian parents, too, found solace in the show's themes and non-offensive stories, creating a program that could be experienced together as a whole family. From that day on, families all across Florida and eventually across the entire United States came to enjoy the program, which continued on for a run of over 20 long years, until one Saturday morning at 8 a.m. sharp, when, without explanation, the show came to an unceremonious end and was never broadcast again. Today, the show and all official records of it have been scrubbed from the internet, with the companies behind its creation and the networks that aired it acting as if it never even existed, some allegedly going as far as to destroy any remaining copies, thanks solely to the heinous events that transpired during and after its television run. This is the story of Joy Junction, the children's TV show with an unimaginably dark secret.
We'll return after these messages.
A group of researchers say
Y'all ever heard of Joy Junction? Joy Junction before? I ain't never seen it. I think that's a little bit before my time.
they've identified at least 7 stars that might be surrounded by super advanced alien megastructures known as Dyson spheres. Yes, I said alien structures, and I know what you're thinking, but just stay with me here, because the basic idea was this: superior intelligent life might build big structures around their home stars or planets as a way to harness or reuse that energy. A 1960s physicist who came up with this idea, Freeman Dyson, argued that if these structures existed, there'd be so much energy that human scientists on Earth could probably spot it because it would emit a lot of infrared.
They're also saying it looks exactly what an angel would look like in the Bible. I've been saying this for a long time. They keep putting things in the movie about the future, about advanced technology, and then it comes out in the news later on. They have to ease your mind into the things that they know in fear of panic. But do y'all remember in the Marvel movie, Thor had used the star that they had trapped in this type of sphere and create a new hammer for him to use? I don't know about y'all, but this does not look okay to me. How would you feel if you had a cage around your aura and energy, and this cage is constantly sucking all of your life force? I always keep in mind with everything that I see across this world, the as above, so below saying. That is a parasite. When I watched the Avengers, I felt so bad for that star being used like that, because I believe that stars are celestial bodies. Over different religions, there are so many people who have the title of the sun god Ra, Amaterasu, goddess of the sun, Inca, I hope I'm saying this one right, Soraya, basically giving a human form to the celestial consciousness. Just to expand your mind on why this looks weird to me, This is just a sad scene to me. When you leave your body and leave this physical form, you are energy, just like these stars, energy. Say, for instance, when you leave your body and transcend, there is some weird energetic cage that you are locked in. And some people are locked in dimensional cages. Sometimes it's called purgatory. Sometimes it's called the fourth dimension. Sometimes they're called ghosts who can't move on. Run. I'm going to tell you why you should run. So in conclusion, if you decide that you don't want to be a physical human anymore, you want to be a star, you want to be a planet, you want to be a tree, and you have this technology that is around you, a box, a cage that is sucking your energy, why would you glorify that? So yeah, free this star.
Free the stars. Not the Hollywood ones.
Model of Terrence Howard's patent. From what I can tell, this is what makes time travel possible. This baby might have enough juice, and I'm talking about 1.21 gigawatts, and we can go back to November the 5th, 1955.
If you're right, so many people are wrong.
Everyone's wrong. Oh, well, the universe backs me up, and I have the proof of it. You have all these physicists that's saying something different, but none of them have 97 patents. None of them have introduced a new form of flight with unlimited mid-air bonding. None of them have discovered 4 supersymmetrical systems.
And since people are talking about him like he's crazy, I went and did the research. I went and looked up the patents. Look at the patent owner, T. Deshaun Howard. Systems and methods for projectile propulsion. They granted the patent June 13, 2023. Systems and methods for projective propulsion. Another patent. Well, that's just the application on this one. System methods and projectile propulsion. They granted this patent. Systems and methods for projectile propulsion again. Another application. Systems and methods for linchpin structure application. They granted his patent. Another one. That's just the application before it was granted. Systems and methods for transcendental lighting applications. Granted. Systems and methods for enhanced building block applications. Granted. This dude out here discovering new shapes.
Secret Spaces, Part 1. When designing the Eiffel Tower, Gustave Eiffel included a secret apartment for himself at the top. It came with a kitchen, bathroom, and living room, and he often used the space to entertain notable guests like Thomas Edison. Only first discovered in 2009, Vietnam's Hang Son Dong is considered the largest known cave system in the world. It's more than 3 miles long and 600 feet high, which is so massive that it literally has its own weather system. Crooked Forest in Poland is a small section of pine trees in the middle of the woods that are oddly contorted with a 90-degree bend. It's generally believed that a human method caused them to grow this way, but its true origin remains a mystery. The center of the universe is an acoustic anomaly found in Tulsa, Oklahoma. If you stand in the center, your voice will echo back at you several times louder, but no one standing outside of the circle will hear a thing.
Hey, I seen one of those. It was at another college, though. I think it was in like Indiana. You know, anybody in Indiana, if y'all go to school out there, it might have been Purdue. I'm not sure exactly what school it was now that I think about it. It was one of them schools out there, but there was a little clapping circle.
Just real quick.
If you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, and you ain't black.
Okay, Joe, since you want to take it there, we can take it there. Today we're going to talk about the dark history of the Democrats. Now, before I start, I want to let you know that I have no bias against anybody. You do what you want, you believe in what you want. And no, I do not identify with any political party. I'm just stating the dark history. Mutilation, whipping, drowning, castration, buck breaking, terrorism, and torture. 246 years went by before y'all even got involved in that. Y'all remember that terrorist group Ku Klux Klan? Founded by Nathan Bedford Forrest, who was the Grand Wizard and a Democrat. Didn't Eric Foner, a Democrat, argue that the KKK was a military arm of Democratic Party in the South? Y'all want to know who wasn't a Democrat? Abraham Lincoln, a Republican, who passed laws that said we are not slaves, we deserve the right to be citizens, and we have a right to vote. Now, what political party voted against this? Democrat. Didn't bruh assassinate Abraham Lincoln? He sure as heck wasn't a Republican. I see when y'all don't get y'all way, y'all start to get dangerous. After black people were freed, they went on the Republican side because they knew what was going on with the Democrats. So y'all started to terrorize them. Y'all remember that trial deciding whether or not we had the right to be citizens? Didn't all y'all decide and vote to say we wasn't? Y'all put this man's face on a $20 bill. A Democrat who enforced the Indian Removal Act in the 1830s, expelling Native Americans out of their homes. Wasn't majority of the southern states Democrats? Didn't y'all identify y'all as the white man's party? Didn't y'all enforce Jim Crow policies? Democrats use intimidation tactics to suppress black voters. Literacy tests, poll taxes, protests against us even trying to vote, owning property, and then when y'all got cool with us starting to vote. Didn't the Democratic president say he'll have us voting for the next 200 years? Oh yeah, he put that N-word in there too. There go your boy, sitting with him, devising tactics to get the black people in the Democratic Party. So here's the list. Defended slavery, started the Civil War, oppressed Reconstruction, founded the Ku Klux Klan, imposed segregation, and fought the Civil Rights Act. Oh yeah, don't forget about that too. All I'm saying is just be safe with these people.
How can you be safe with them people? You can't.
This very strange video is circling the internet of what's supposed to be this very strange phenomenon happening in the middle of the ocean. A couple of people inside of a boat captured it on camera. I'm going to show you guys the entire video. Some people are relating this to underwater volcanoes, but I'm not exactly sure if this is the case. I'm going to show you guys the video. You tell me what you think is going on here. Check this out.
Yo, what's that?
Pay attention, look at the size of this thing.
Yeah, what is this thing? It don't even come all the way out the water.
Look at this over here. What's going on here, guys? What is your take?
Women and for men, but especially for women, if you feel that you're going to be in danger, do you know there's an old ancient science that if you wear purple, that somehow that's a protecting type of energy. Let me give you another one. There's a black dog called Anubis. Anubis or Anpu. That is in the, I think if you can shine the light here, I can show them Anubis. If you're walking late at night and you want to be protected, only thing you have to do is take the black dog Anubis that you're going to find in these Egyptian books, put him on a chain and a leash, and imagine him walking beside you. You don't even have to put him on a chain and a leash. Just imagine him walking beside you. I don't want to disrespect. Don't put the chain and leash. Just imagine him walking with you. Either as the picture of as the form of the dog, the Doberman Pinscher, or the form of the man with the dog head, and have him walk beside you, and ask Anpu or Anubis to protect you. I'm not talking about a physical thing. I'm talking about the realm of imagination. It's called creative visualization or imagination. So you imagine the dog Anubis walking.
All right, guys, watch this shit. You're not gonna believe this. I cannot make this stuff up. Look, girl's about to get out of her car right here. Look at the clouds for one. All right, but here, I'm gonna zoom in a little bit. I'm gonna stop talking so she doesn't hear me. And then, all right, you see her right there. Shh. She's about to go in the store. This store doesn't have a name. Look. The store with no name. They sell them here every day, all day. And I'm gonna take you around back, and I'll show you where they're delivered. It's not a conspiracy theory, guys. I cannot make this stuff up.
Wait,
Watch,
they
I'm gonna
sell
show
them
you,
there. What do they
I'm gonna show you
sell?
where they get dropped off. Twice a week. They're selling them every day. Look, come around here to the back. So here's Nana and Pap's family restaurant. Look, I'll show you. I just stopped because I don't want to interact with my camera while I'm driving. I got it on a dash mount. But I come around here and you see these gates are open. And again, I will stop so I can show you. You can hear the... Here. I mean, this is real, guys. This is really going on. But tell me what you see in those clouds. Let me know in the comments. Guys, I cannot make this stuff up. This is not a conspiracy theory.
So now,
Wait, what are they selling there? And what are they? I'm lost, y'all.
archaeologists just found a description of the Simpsons characters over 3,000 years ago
Wow.
in an Egyptian mummy tomb. And you know, considering everything surrounding the Simpsons on, you know, how they be getting their predictions right, yeah, that sounds about right.
Mm-hmm.
Now that brings me to the question, where did the Simpsons originate from? Because this was like 3,000 years ago. Is that Margaret? The TV show is only like 20 years old. Gang, seriously, the whole storyline behind the Simpsons is a mystery. Yep. And now we find the 3,000-year-old hieroglyphs that came from the Simpsons. Yeah, Margaret. Especially when we see parts of the episode take place in real life. Yep, go ahead, call Scooby-Doo and the gang, because we have a mystery. Y'all let me know in the comments though, what y'all think about them finding a 3,000-year-old Simpsons hieroglyph in the Egyptian mummy tomb in the comments. Like or follow for more wisdom and stay tuned. And if you want to talk on how to blow up on social media, comment down below ATM. I'm dropping it.
She says, call me your baby. Uh-oh, but he's stuck in that globe. How's he gonna get out of there? Let's break the ice wall, y'all. Can't do that. Oh. Still can't break the firmament. She's so unbothered. That's an idea. Let's burn it. Makes you wonder if they've tried all these things.
So this came out in 1989.
Oh, oh no. Oh, his poor nose is burned.
The only way out of the firmament is to go through the earth. That's what I'm getting out of it.
Oh no.
But now he in the ocean. It also shows at the very end that on the other side of the firmament, you know, the water's above and the water's below. That's crazy, right? Oh, snap.
Did you know that all eels in Europe and America are born in the Bermuda Triangle? Now let's talk about it. Now I'm sure we all know the Bermuda Triangle for being this mysterious place where all this unexplained stuff goes on. But did you know that eels might live in a landlocked part of Europe? And yet they would travel thousands of kilometers, even over land, just to get to the Bermuda Triangle. And yes, I said land, so they will do whatever it takes, even if they have to die in the process of getting to the Bermuda Triangle. They will do whatever it takes to get there, and they basically mate there. And I find that so weird because eels are like one of the only animals on Earth that scientists don't really know where they came from, or even how they reproduce. Not only have eels never been seen mating, their eggs have never been found, nor have their reproductive organs. So they don't even know that eels have a reproductive organ. I mean, they must have it because they reproduce, but scientists don't know where it's at, even though they have done hundreds of dissections over thousands of years. And it was said that the mysteries of eels can be traced back to ancient Egyptian times. But over the years, researchers have, basically put trackers on the eels just to see if they all migrate to the Bermuda Triangle. But the eels always mysteriously disappeared. And so not too long ago, researchers was finally able to track European eels, and all of them migrated to the Bermuda Triangle. Like, y'all, even if it's a dam, they will climb over the dam just to get there. Like, what? Like, how do they all know where to go? I mean, I guess in a way it's like birds, they all know where to migrate, but like, that's still so bizarre that they all go to the Bermuda Triangle just to reproduce. Like, they just wake up one day and decide to go on an incredibly long journey just to spawn. Like, they have a big old freaknik in the Bermuda Triangle. But there's a lot of different conspiracies that I've seen and read about that has to do with eels. Some people believe that is why all these crashes and technical difficulties go, because of the electricity from the eel. That's a stretch, but I thought that was a funny little, thing to say. But then I seen something when people was like talking about like whenever there's like things that come out of space that just come down here, what if that's how eels became a thing? And I don't know, but like what if, like have y'all ever watched that movie Slither? On that movie, basically it was something that came out of the sky and it had these like big worms. They were like basically like some type of alien. It was tied in with some type of extraterrestrial. And it was like thousands of these little slithery worm thingies. And that's what eels remind me of. Because it's so hard for scientists to even study them because they're dangerous. But let me know what y'all think.
What y'all think about eels? What if eels are like cut from the cloth? You know what I mean? Like they don't reproduce. They just spawn from the earth, That'd be some weird stuff right there. But if they don't really know, who's to say? Or it could just be there's something else down in the Bermuda Triangle that we don't know about, and eels are just coming from that area. Or they're extraterrestrials, like she said. I don't know. I don't know too much about eels, I just know that when I go get some sushi, they be like, do you want eel sauce?
Have y'all seen those videos going around about the rubber bananas and avocados? Well, I think I may have got one. I'm in Texas, by the way. I did an HEB curbside order 2 weeks ago, and I asked for 2 ripe avocados that were ready to eat. I got home and unpacked my groceries, and they were rock hard. I figured, okay, these people just can't read, right? They're just not ripe. So I put them on my counter 2 weeks ago. This avocado should be moldy by now. What the F, HEB? It just took me literally 30 seconds to cut it apart. It is so hard. The other side of the shell came off. Have you ever seen that happen? Let me show you what it feels like. Well, not that you can feel it, but look at this. I am pushing so hard. Like so hard that it's turning my finger white. And it's not even denting. Like, let me try to cut it with my fingernail. Look at that. What in the actual... What is going on here? This is a tag on it, avocado from Mexico. Do these numbers mean something? Like, I just don't understand. There's a close-up of it. What is happening here?
Have y'all ever seen the videos where they paint apples? Like the apples are like white, almost like a pale, like yellowish color, and they paint them red.
Look at this. I can't break it apart. Like it doesn't move. Guys, what the hell is this? This is not food. This is 100% not food. Look at this. This is rubber, guys. This is not food. Bought this avocado 2 days ago from the same store. Let's try it. Okay, normal avocado, right? Look,
Mm-hmm.
squishy. Let me stick my finger in it. That's
Look
an
at that.
avocado. What in the fark is this? I think I'm gonna put one half in the fridge and one half on the counter and do like a date stamp and see for like the next week or two what happens to it. What do y'all think? Should I do that? At this point, question everything. So now I've got it sitting on the counter. We're gonna see how many days it takes for it to decompose, if it does at all, because I don't believe it to be food. Follow along for the avocado saga. Well, if that wasn't pure ADD right there, my God. Follow along for the avocado saga.
Can't trust nothing.
So there was a new rare sighting of this Barbadale pink dolphin, or a school of pink dolphins. And it's like every day now we have new creatures.
Wait. Don't they got a clothing brand called Pink Dolphin? I didn't know pink dolphins was a thing. I swear. That's crazy. They probably known about pink dolphins for a while. Like, that's crazy. They make a whole clothing brand and then you randomly see a pink dolphin out here.
Species and specimens just popping up every day. It's kind of hard though, no cap. This really just goes to show you that we really don't know everything that's going on inside our oceans. And every time we do think that we know, something like this pops up and remind us that we don't. No cap. Let's keep it a buck though. The bubblegum-licious ass dolphins actually go hard. I think I need one of them in my aquarium, in my fish tank, when I'm rich. And now I'm thinking, do they have other colored dolphins? Like red, green, blue, or yellow? Is this the only school of dolphins that's Barbie pink? Just so many questions I need answers to. But how y'all feeling about this hubba bubba ass dolphin in the comments? Like or follow for more wisdom and stay tuned. And remind you, if you want to learn the sauce on social media, comment down below. ATM, I'm gonna get you right.
I know the avocado is not actually rubber, I just meant it feels like rubber. It's been 24 hours since that last video, and here's the 2 avocados. And do y'all think I say avocado weird? Because it's just how I talk. Like, I had a speech impediment when I was a kid, and my O's are weird. Like, it kind of sounds like an L. Like when I say oil. Oil. Anywho, this is the one that I put in the fridge. A little bit of brown on it. This is the one that's been sitting on the counter. It has more brown on it, but it is still just as hard as it was yesterday. So she said. HEB has contacted me and they're looking into this, so as I learn more, I will definitely share it with y'all. A lot of people have commented and said that if you pick an avocado too early, it's missing something in it to where it will never ripen and it'll stay hard like that, so that is a plausible explanation. But my question is, why are they picking them so early and then spraying them with these chemicals and then they're never ripening? So how many of us are buying these products and then we're just throwing them away? It's wasting our money that we can't afford to spend right now because of inflation. I also had one person comment and say that she's allergic to latex and she can't eat unripened avocados because it flares up her latex allergy. So somehow avocados may be related to rubber? That makes sense. Have y'all ever heard of anything like that? Because I mean, if it's true, it tracks. I'm making another video with timestamps on it of the day and the time with the avocado sitting on the counter to see how long it's gonna sit there before it either rots or gets soft or whatever. Stay tuned for more of the avocado saga. Avocado. Dough. Whatever.
Man, we out here eating rubber food, y'all.
It's like the center of all things, operating through all things. Like what I say, what goes around comes around, because all things are truly what? All things are truly the center, returning back to itself. Like the analogy with the ripples, right? You drop a quarter in a river or the water or whatnot, the ripples will go out, yeah, but the waves that sent back, they come back to bring a balance in the center. You feel me? As in what's dished out always come back in its own mystic manner. You feel me? The waves, they'll go out uniquely. You know, on the left side it may be up more than the right, but in the end, what happens? The still waters reflect judgment, because in truth, through all the waves and the ripples, it was always the mystic mirror.
Really got to question everything out here nowadays, because you can't trust nothing. You can't trust the food, you can't trust the information, you can't trust your own officials. Who can you trust but yourself at the end of the day? Yeah, these are some of the most creepy and strange TikToks that are out there. If you like the content, don't forget to subscribe, turn your notification bells on, and until next time, YouTube, peace.